Hello.
Hello.
Nice.
Good evening, good day, good morning, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome.
Time's an illusion.
Yeah, time is an illusion.
Lunchtime, doubly so.
Reality's a
It's December.
hologram.
Time is an illusion.
Buy
Do you
gold,
know
buy.
that we have like 13 days till Christmas?
Nope. Shut up.
No, we don't. Christmas is also an illusion.
13 days before
This is true.
and 23 days before I turn 30.
Time is a weird
That
cube.
time is also an illusion, Blackwell.
Welcome. We're Logomancy Media. I almost said Legends of Logomancy. It still lives rent-free in my brain, and it hasn't been the name for a while. We are a D&D collective. We're going to play some D&D and break some hearts. Joining me today are 5 amazing people down below.
What do you mean break some hearts? Wait,
already
this
done
isn't
that.
this isn't the island. No, that is last month, David. This is fun.
Eventually hearts
torture.
will break.
Now we're breaking hearts. It's about time.
Allison, how's your week? Allison?
Oh, I heard Alice, and I'm like, oh, are we going by names or characters? Okay. Okay, that I know. I'm drinking.
Mood?
Blueberry moonshine, which is great. My week has been good. I got some really nice artwork back for some lovely people. I am a little upset. I know that I promise every time that I leave the stream that you will see my models behind me. I opened the box, and most of my models did not make it to the move. So I must rebuild all of them. And some cannot be rebuilt and had to be decommissioned.
Oh no.
Oh no.
As such, still bare, but we're taking a break starting next week. I swear, even if it's just stuffed animals in the containers, I will find something to fill there. But I'm doing good. My work is extremely busy because what I do, I am crazy busy around this time because Christmas and holidays. Yay! Someone else go.
Neon, how was your week?
Good. Things are good. Everything's good and great, and I wish I had more light in this office, but I guess it's just the dark times for me now. I'll have to fix that for next time. No, things are good. Things are going well. I wish I had an update for you, but I've legitimately just been sitting here in this spot exactly playing Minecraft since you last saw me. I don't think I've slept. That and Marvel Rivals have been going back and forth.
Yes.
It's
so
like
good.
Overwatch when it was good.
Right?
Yo, send me your name on Marvel Rivals. We gotta play.
Yeah, we'll play. We'll hook up. We'll play. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'll link up. We'll team up. We'll pair up, and I'll explode some people as Venom.
The scary thing is this is actually one of the dimensions that are part of Adventure Time, and we are all the collective dream of Neon. I've got bad news for you. You're not real. Everything that's ever happened to you is because Neon dreamed it.
Neon, dream a better life for me, please.
Right?
This was
Like,
So you're the one who's
hold
caused
on,
my
hold
life
on.
to go in mayhem and turmoil.
Yeah, what the
I'm gonna need
fuck?
your address.
How do
real
we
quick.
do the
I
kill
got
the
some
creator
questions
route?
for you.
So unfortunately, there is no kill the creator route. I can just wake up and then all of you cease to exist, and then I have to like dream again afterwards.
Then wake up.
And some dreams are nightmares, and that's just how it is.
I mean, we
But,
don't gotta
none of
worry
it's
about
real
next
anyway.
year if you wake up. I mean, I don't got to deal with that at all.
Pixie, how have
I'll
you
try.
I'm super freaking awesome. If I am only a dream of Neon's, then Neon, I want to say thank you for the sweet ass
thanks.
raise yesterday.
Hell yeah, you're welcome.
I had my 2-year performance review at my job where everything has been going. It's the hardest job I've ever done, but in the best way. And I had my 2-year review yesterday. It was fucking awesome. I got myself a raise. So like, yeah, we're having a good week over here. Tomorrow is my husband's birthday too, but I also have to go to the dentist, which is fun. if I'm making weird faces tonight, it's because I'm poking at this tooth that they're probably gonna have to pull out tomorrow. So
I've done that before. It fucking
that's where we
sucks.
is. That explains the faces, but I'm still good. Like normally I'm so terrified of the dentist that I would have been like puking for 3 days by now, and I'm fine. So this is really weird for me, but I'm gonna ride it out as long as I can.
Take the win.
Yep.
So Neon, if you could dream a really gentle
I'll dream
dentist.
real hard.
Okay, awesome.
I'll dream about a very gentle dentist.
I'll dream so good.
I'll dream so good. If it goes wrong again, then I probably had another nightmare, and I'm sorry. If your dentist is made of teeth, sorry, I might have had some substance before bed.
I get that.
I don't know if I trust a dentist made out of teeth more than I would like just like the weirdly hot dentist that's at our dentist clinic. Like I don't know, which I would trust
I'm
more.
sorry.
I mean,
We're just gonna skirt past that. Like,
We are.
Do we
Understood.
talk about your hot dentist?
We'll come back to that. Tegan, how's your week?
welcome.
My week's been really busy at work. We had someone call in yesterday, so I was there the whole day.
Yay! Love that for you.
Right. So my energy might be up and down, but I will be here. And Neon, speaking of dreams,
Yeah.
you could dream that people are more patient about their stuff. That'd be great.
That won't happen. We're on a strike for Canada Post.
You know,
Not
I'll try to
everything
dream
comes
that people
by
are more
Canada
patient.
Post.
But I feel like I don't have control over like sentient beings within the dream. Like if I
We'll
could
work
control
on
every
that.
last action that all of you are doing at any given moment, it'd be really tiring for me.
It does
I
sound
learned
like
that power.
It's a lot. You know what? You're so right. Hold on. Let me just break out the fucking StarCraft keyboard shortcuts and I'll get right to it.
Perfect. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm good. Pretty much have most of next week off, so I'm excited.
Blackwell, how's your week been?
what was it? Tuesday was my last day of work before the semester ended. So, I'm now on winter break. So, hey, I got paid today, which is always nice. And then
Yeah.
promptly my paycheck looked at me and said, yeah, we got some
Right.
Christmas shopping to do. Yeah, you right. Okay. This is nice. It's okay though. Like getting things for my wife, getting things for my kid, getting things for my parents, just trying to enjoy the holidays. Not trying, we are enjoying the holidays. Because again, being able to be around them after like 2 years of not having all of us together for the holidays, it's nice. It's nice. What else? The Strahd game is going well. We're on break and we're going to be playing Alien the TTRPG next week. No,
Let me
2
know
weeks
how
from
that
now.
goes.
Nice.
It's so
Our DM's
fun.
basically throwing all of
Oh, is
the
it good?
characters into like he's basically throwing them into a hat and our names into a hat. It is going to be a doop doop. All right, you get this person, and I'm like, yes, randomization. Let's go.
Question.
how
what
In
else?
the Alien TTRPG, how likely is it that I can kiss the alien?
My route is how fast can I die? Like what's the craziest thing that I
Yeah.
can do
Both-
that gives me
two,
the most
two
high
pairs of lips, double
probability?
kiss. 2 for the price of 1.
I mean, what you need to do, Neon, is just add some custom goals into the game because you get these little
You're right,
like
you're right, you're
personal
right.
goals that are something you're trying to
Right.
achieve without necessarily telling anybody else. So you just need to, while no one's watching, delete yours and type in "kiss an alien."
Kiss the
Yeah.
xenomorph.
Okay.
You're so right.
That could be
You're
what
so
Neon
right.
plays. but
Frenching
me-
must be wild.
Nah, I like can't do that. Like that's your hear me out. My hear me out or your two different things. I don't think
Is the
there's any-
xenomorph a
that's-
hear me out?
No,
No, it is
it's
not.
not.
Have you seen that
It's-
Skinny Waist King? No.
I feel like we're past the hear me out. Like, what is considered hear me out? Let's be real. If you're doing a hear me out cake, everything that we all are going to say is so normalized. It's like, listen, you are on somewhere on the monster and furry scale. You are
Yeah.
on there. Just admit it. If If you say you are into anything monster effing, you are into anything furry effing. Sorry, it's I don't make the rules. It's literally a pipeline. They all circle around each other. You just
gonna
accept
do
it.
Ouroboros.
You'll be
We
okay.
haven't even
Yeah.
started.
We're
I'm
getting.
doing a Logomancy Hear Me Out cake.
Right now, Squirrel Girls might hear me out because speaking of Marvel Rivals, I've been
That's just
naming her.
correct.
Yeah, that's
correct.
not a hear me out. That is objectively correct.
Yeah.
That's just objectively correct.
Go on a cake.
My hear me out
Which we go.
is. Actually, I'm not going to say it on stream because I feel like it would make multiple people and their grandmas immediately vomit.
Nah, now we got to hear it. We'll hear it later, probably. Hear it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Break.
send
We'll
it to you
find
guys
out
later.
what Neon's
There,
Hear Me
it's such a
Out is.
long list.
But no, all in all, I'm good. I am happy. I'm actually, yeah. I can actively say I'm happy, which is weird because
That's right.
not used to being like, yeah, I'm happy. I'm good. Is usually cautiously optimistic.
So we don't forget, because I know everyone wants to know. My dentist looks like somebody,
Thank
like
you.
a 14-year-old boy who was like really good at like realistic art, drew his ideal woman.
Okay.
Oh.
Like,
Eh,
Oh.
but
like
that's not my
she's
cup
like
of tea.
like a weirdly 9, just like everything. And it's like I hate the
My
dentist.
cat gesture.
Yeah, I like I hate the dentist, but like, you know, I'll put up with
Is
it.
she nice?
Never,
She's actually really sweet too. Like that like totally makes
Okay,
it.
okay.
She's really
Second-
kind, and she's like, because like I just cry at the dentist. Like-
Second question: is she an industry plant?
Probably. She's probably exclusively there to like make me keep going to big dentistry.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I was going to pull that up, but I would like to actually also raise a toast to Moon right now.
Oh
Yes.
Raise your waters.
For everybody who has their waters, please lift it up. Moon will
Mine's
not
empty
be
already.
joining us. You just got it. Moon will not be joining us for this session. So, chat, if you would like to take Moon's place, she'd appreciate it. She just had her baby today, so she will not be with us
We're
today, but she is
celebrating.
with us with spirit. So, congratulations, Moon.
I was
Love
hoping that
you.
was
Number
To
2.
Moon's
Hi,
baby
great.
and to oddly hot dentists.
Can we not put that together?
Yeah.
That child is
It's
my
together.
nephew. No.
Too bad.
And Logomancy
Anyways.
Media. Everybody hydrate.
But to
Thank
go
you.
back to it, my week was good. I also had a performance review for my first year at this company. I got a statistically impossible KPI review because I got our like scores out of 3, but some of our things are only out of 2. So you should never be able to get a 3, but I got a 3 because I only had 1 KPI. And I killed it. They're like, we'd give you a 4, but like, there's no point in making up new numbers. And I was like,
Do
you
it.
could just anyways.
The standard. I am now the new standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. And with that, I think I've mentioned we're building a studio for work.
Mhm.
We found more asbestos. Is how the
no.
studio build is going. We drilled into another wall, and it was just like as the drill came out, you just watched it pour out. We're all like, oh, great. We'll start this all over again. So, yeah. Wins and losses. But with that said, let's play some fucking D&D.
Yeah.
Made of teeth.
There we
Why
go.
is that a thing?
I know what
Why
buttons
did that
I gotta
become a
push.
thing?
I am gonna lose.
I don't know, but I think it might end up on
Nightmares.
my hear me out cake.
Going back into the world where is everything a dream or not? Cue the Kingdom Hearts music.
I'm out of moonshine. Damn it. I'm out of moonshine.
Last week when we left off, you guys had found your way into the control center of a fallen elven city. And
We're screwed.
as you stood there, it has started to do something. You don't know what it's doing, but I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Which is where we're gonna pick up.
How about no?
Yeah. So refresher, you're standing in a large circular room. There are windows around you all around. There's kind of a raised platform where the council can sit, and then there's a control center in the middle. Hovering above that is a giant glowing purple marble, for lack of a better term, with 6 rings around it, and one of the rings rotated right before we ended the stream.
Since Dix was the last one up the stairs, because everybody else flew, except Alice. Alice is a real player staying with me.
Real
Dix comes up.
MVP.
Could I just look at that and just do an insight check and just real quick be like, if that's gonna be just messing with me or not, just be like,
Give me that insight check. Give me Nick.
Nice.
There you go. 22.
Love that.
So great news. There's nothing ominous about the particular orb in question.
just looking straight up, I was like,
So basically, with the 6 rings around it are there's inscribed writing around the kind of like as you can like look at the rings, they're sitting there. You can notice they're kind of like gently rotating in their space. And there's writing kind of inscribed into it. It's like a soft, almost silvery like metal that kind of surrounds the space. And then there's like the console itself's got some things. There's a few panels that have lit up since you guys have been here, and it seems to be something seems to have activated.
I can't read.
Okay, so we then now see like the writing on the back of this panel
We have a raid.
with the ring.
We've Hi, Raid.
Oh, we
Hi, Raid.
Right at the beginning, you guys chose the perfect time to get
Welcome.
We just started.
help action. Help out. Needed.
We're no longer the 501st. We're the 502.
Oh
The
god.
cleanup crew.
I'm actually the 503.
Oh, you're doing your leadership assessment? Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I failed multiple times.
Deep cut.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying Tegan.
Okay, so we now see like on the back of the panel that flipped is writing now. It's not.
Yeah, so basically when the ring rotated and the way the lights caught it, you can see like on the inner edge of the ring is a bunch of writing. And if you kind of like walk around the actual like sphere, you can see the actual like ring, the rest of the rings that haven't moved also have writing in them.
Ooh, can
What?
I read those?
Yeah. What language is it in?
It's in Elvish, like true, proper, old school Elvish. You can, Neon. This is a series of instructions. So some of them are like, so the outermost ring that rotated into place was basically like it's waiting for orders. So that's like at this point the system is active and it is waiting for somebody to tell it what to do. The rings around it are basically like different kind of control systems. So you've got one that's just labeled as like protection, one that's labeled as main city management, and it's just kind of like as it cycles in, each of the rings is seems to like it's a city function that it's fulfilling.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there like a terminal or like some sort of interface?
Sort of.
Or
So
is it like a...
the panel around you is like a smooth stone, and it's got like as you kind of like walk close, like the stone almost moves like liquid as it goes, and like words will appear and kind of shimmer across. Most of it's literally just waiting for input, so like it's looking for somebody to tell it to do something.
I will take my finger and I'll walk up to the terminal, and in Elven I'll start to scribe out like assessment.
So you're looking to run like a diagnostic, if we were to use
A diagnostic, yeah.
So as you kind of like write assessment down on the scribe, you watch as your finger trails the writing, it actually like writes out, like you're almost like pen, like ink onto paper, and you watch it kind of like pulse around, and then you just see like super fast scrolling Elvish as it's like spitting out things, and it appears like it's error codes. Like that's the best way I can put it. It's like this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, and it all basically boils down to insufficient
like
power.
offline, insufficient power. Okay. Does it say anything about, is like with the power grid error, is it just that the generator's off? Is it that it's been severed?
It's not getting enough energy out of it like it used to. There's a recharge sequence that's like it literally just says like engage recharge. but it doesn't say what that is. Like, it seems to be some kind of activation code that, like, it's like, do the thing you're supposed to do in this situation.
Okay. Oh God. Can I just say engage recharge? I'm gonna type out engage system reset. Maybe. Does that do anything?
So it trying to like write an Elven basically like reset system. It just says insufficient supply.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask for a map if I write like map? Will it give me a...
Yeah, so there's as you write map, it basically like you watch the what looked like again a solid stone slab in front of you just turns into the city. It like folds out into the city.
Very cool.
From the map, can I tell like where the generator is?
You're looking at it.
We're looking at the generator.
There's two parts to this system. There is the orb that you are physically looking at right now, this giant, perfectly smooth sphere of pink purple stone, and then the other half is like beneath your feet. So beneath the room that you were in, there is another matched pair of crystal that goes with that, and then the two create the entire system.
Gotcha. When it was like shooting errors at us, is the error coming from this crystal or the secondary one or some point in between?
So there's you get kind of an innate understanding that like it's the interaction between these two that is allowing it to do whatever it is supposed to do. So there's not enough energy in either. Like they're both able to maintain, but they're in some kind of like safe mode, basically.
Okay. I can't touch the crystal, can I?
You wouldn't be able to reach. It's like
yeah.
so you'd have to like climb up
there.
on top of everything, and even then, somebody would probably like lift you.
Which is not happening.
Yeah.
I'm way too heavy. Well, it appears the system is not powered as normal. We'll need to reset the system, the power grid system, to engage with the system further.
That located at in the bottom chamber?
There are two paired crystals. Their interaction generates the energy this city needs.
Shall we go below and see what errors are there?
Perhaps.
Wow, this is gonna go.
And okay.
And Nyx is like, I ain't going back down those stairs. Not. I will stay up here.
I will remain with the terminal to input commands as needed.
Lucy's basically just vibrating with every suggestion of that.
I think
Wanna go there? Yes,
Typhon.
that sounds like the best idea. Over there.
Right.
Typhon.
That's also
Wrong
the best idea.
character. God.
I'm sorry. I messed it up. My bad.
No, it's not
No,
you. It's totally
two different-
Blackwell.
Two different characters. Anyways, I think Theo would go with Alice. Like if they're going down to find a generator, and future me is staying upstairs, and if God, I'm trying to remember everyone's name right now. My brain is blanking.
Are you gonna forget your grandson's name?
No, we know Nyx. Trust, we know Nyx. But if everyone else is kind of staying upstairs, he's gonna go with Alice.
Allison and Theo's, you guys kind of go back down the winding staircase. There's another like staircase that kind of like leads down that you can walk down. And as you go, basically the entire interior of this building is just one long, slow spiraling staircase that leads through. The walls are painted with murals. You're watching them in reverse. So it basically starts with the city that you're in now. And it's as you kind of go through, it's an evolution of elven culture. As you kind of like make your way through, and the first little bit, like it's like this big grand mural of the city, and as you kind of come around, and you move down below the platform, the room is dimly lit with the same kind of pinkish purple light that the sphere up top was. Whereas like this is like probably that one's probably like 15, maybe 20 feet across. This one is also about 20 feet across, but it's an octagonal crystal that is at its like shortest point. If you go before where it actually starts to point off, probably about 10 stories tall.
Whew. How? Oh, the crystal's 10 stories tall.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how like far down is that secondary control room that they're heading to?
So they're like, so as they kind of go down, the crystal's half that space. So there's about
Okay.
4 stories to where you guys are, like in terms of like overall height, and then there's the 10 stories, and then there's probably about another 10 stories like down from there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, as you kind of use it, both of you kind of like walk down the space. What you're seeing in reverse is effectively elven culture subjugating the area around them. There's a lot of worship of these crystals, and as you go down, they get smaller. So ending at the bottom, it's the actual floor is elves holding a tiny little ball, like the one that one of you has. I don't remember who has the ball, but this one's lit, so it's actually yeah.
Do I have it or did I pass it off?
You passed it to Theo.
Yeah, so Theo, it's like in its hands coming together, and they're holding up one of these little balls, or what would be proportionally about the same size of ball that you have, but this one is colored in the same color as the crystals. To kind of like reverse the story, effectively what happens is the discovery of these crystals, and then the slow progress towards elven culture subjugating most of the continent and having colonies outside of that, the creation of these cities, the manifestation. It appears like these crystals are some kind of magical power source, where they can affect the weave in a really dynamic way. It's not really explained. Like, the elves seem to perfectly understand exactly what this was, but whatever this crystal is, like, actively interacts with the weave and appears to be some kind of like magic battery, effectively.
Okay.
At the bottom is kind of a like, there's spread out areas from there and everything, but there doesn't actually seem to be any kind of really control room down here. It seems to be some kind of grand reception area.
Okay. Does this crystal have like things around it like the one upstairs?
It doesn't have rings around it, but there's actual like magical glyphs carved into the side of the crystal, and they're huge. Like, they're massive things.
Okay.
Are the folks downstairs, are they beyond 120 feet?
I want to say yes, but just gotta remember how many. Yeah, by about double.
Okay. Gotcha. I was just wondering if message would reach, but it won't. I'm gonna take spell sniper, so my message is 300 feet. No other reason.
I'm sending, but it's only one way.
No, don't
So.
waste a 3rd level sending spell.
I have actually psychic kinesis.
Okay.
What's the range on that?
Psychic whispers. You can establish a telepathic connection between yourself, and others. There is no range.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
As
Give
a
me a minute.
magic action, choose one or more characters you can see. Oh, never mind.
We kind of did it before we went downstairs.
There's your range.
Up to a number of creatures equal to your proficiency bonus. Then roll 1 psychic energy die. For the number of hours equal to the numbers rolled, you and the chosen creature
There you go.
can speak telepathically. I should just put this in chat so people can read. Why am I reading it out? Enjoy!
Yeah, if you'd done it before they walked down, you could have. Yeah.
Am I gonna? I was about to say, am I gonna waste my psychic dice? But I'm like, no,
I feel like this is a good use of a psychic dice.
Yes.
yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I will use a psychic dice. So I'm at 5 now. So one psychic dice is how much? I have to remember.
I believe it's a D6.
Is it a D6? Okay. Let's see how long I hold this for.
Oh, it might be a D8 because you're psi bolstered. For
It is a
skill
D8
checks is
because
8.
it says when each is a D8. I just had to double check at psychic power. So it's a D8.
Nice.
Aha.
So we could get a 1. We could get 8 hours. Let's see.
1 hour.
We can all chat with each other. Wait, can I chat with each other or is it just me? Between yourself and others. Oh man, no.
Relay.
Nix has
Relay.
to be the conduit
Telephone.
for everybody. No.
Also, one of us can't be connected, right? Because it's up to the number of your proficiency bonus, which should be 3, I think.
I think my first bonus is. Let me double check.
Should be 3. Yeah.
It's 3.
Yeah.
So
So,
you can connect with 3 people.
I'm gonna connect with the people that are going down. I don't really need to connect with the people that are with me
That's
because I
fair.
can just
That's fair.
verbally talk about it.
What does it look like? What like from everyone's outside perspective watching Nyx? What does that like psychic connection kind of look like?
It's to be honest, because we got the art and I love the art, so I'm also saving all the things so I can send stuff to people because I'm trying to figure that before I forget it. It's pretty much when you look at Nyx, it's just their eyes start glowing like a piercing, like if you look at a snake and you shine a certain light on them, you see their eyes glow slightly. So you just see their eyes just glow green, and just like the slit over it just like blinks, and it's just like covering it slightly, so it's like a clouded green. That is just like it looks like if you were looking at it, you're like, is it glowing? But if he opens up the slit, you would see it glowing. But it's just like, and it's only one eye. His other eye is normal, and his other eye is just like the slit, just using his psychic powers.
Cool.
And it's the slit that has the scar going around it. That's the one that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're psychically connected to Alice and Theo.
Love it.
Don't freak out.
I think Theo will look around like,
Don't be scared. I'm in your head.
I'm in there. Ugh.
If you need anything, we have a psychic connection. Don't abuse it. We have it for an hour.
oh, hello. Well, this is nice. So now, this would be extremely useful.
I will drop it as soon as immediately. I'm letting you know.
We need to use it wisely. We have a limited amount of time, Theo.
I was just going to tell them everything that we just saw. I mean, if they don't want to know, that's okay. They can make the journey down here.
What did you? No, thank you. What did you learn? I have one person here frothing from the mouth, and the other one with the machine. What did you learn?
I think you can't see him, but he's gonna rub his like chin.
Alice, what did you learn? Just not even entertaining. Just like.
Well, we learned about history on the Merrill. But I know where you are going. We will discuss that later. And she will describe the crystal they see and how there's not really any controls like upstairs.
As Alice is saying it, Nyx is just repeating what they're saying out loud because they're like, I don't understand this shit, so I'm just gonna repeat the exact same words, real time. But like halfway through, be like, okay, one person talk at a time. It has to be one person at a time. Okay, back up to it again.
Absolutely. As they're describing the crystal and like the runes on it, future me kind of sets her fingers back on the liquid stone and is basically like the only way I can think about it is computer language, and is trying to like ping that bottom crystal to make sure the connection's good.
Yeah. Effectively, they're like the connection is stable, It's just that like whatever keeps these crystals powered, it has eventually run out of. So at some point it ran low on power and it has entered a low power mode.
Okay.
And...
Can I?
Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say, can I roll some maybe Arcana to try and like some studying of like working with the system to try and figure out what it would take to get things up and running again?
Yeah, it's looking for a fuel supply. Is effectively what it's asking you for a fuel supply, but it's treating it like you should know. Like you should know what this is.
Put more fuel. Come on.
Yeah, like
Well, you know where to
Give
find
it to me.
Um,
My body runs on nothing but spaghetti and grilled cheese. Come on, you know this.
yeah, it's like it's effectively like no, like what are you like? It's a trying to prompt you to like select something, but like it's not telling you what the something is.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to see what that something is. I'm gonna guide myself for Arcana.
Okay.
And then roll it. That's a 27.
27, damn.
Plus 4. So
Nice.
31.
Okay. So effectively what it's trying to
Damn.
get you to do is to like select a nearby like fuel source and it will do the rest. But it refers to it like literally like that. Like it's you are attempting to create to recharge it and it's looking for the charge. Or more accurately, it specifically refers to it as the charges.
Right.
Alice, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, can I do an arcane on the glyphs to try and figure out if that will help us figure out what these charges are?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to that tab first. Oh, that's a 12.
So you understand the concept of what you're looking at. It's these are like raw, old magic. The kind of things that it's like, oh yeah, like don't mess with this stuff. It can have consequences. And each side seems to be effectively like, whereas as the ones before were like very much like, hey, this is what you're gonna direct energy towards. This is kind of what you're gonna do. This is like, at very fundamental forms of magic. Like you're looking at like, this is one of them is probably the anti-gravity spell that lifted these cities up out of the ground kind of thing. In like its absolute most raw form. The best way I can describe it is what you're looking at would be equivalent to 10th level magic. Like you're talking about like massive, incredibly powerful feats is what they are. And some of them are like mundane and you get kind of the rough idea like, oh, that's just a normal spell. And one of them like somewhere in the back of your mind is like, do not under any circumstances activate that one.
That one bad.
Yeah.
There's like a little mushroom cloud right
flash
beside
cut to
it.
future me activating that one specifically.
Okay.
Pixie, I know Lucy's begging to do something, so we're gonna jump to you really quickly.
I mean, Lucy really wants to check out what's going on up in this room with like the generator and like being able like the map of the city and all these other things. She's particularly intrigued by the map though.
Yeah. It's so when it popped up, it was like water rushing to fill a container. It's the best way I can describe what you witnessed. So it is, and when I say like a detailed map, I mean like to the point where like one of the buildings you saw had been damaged by debris, and that building is damaged by debris on the map.
When I notice that, I want to look really closely at the building that we're in on the map.
Yeah.
Kind of peer in and around the first level and see if I see the party members that went down. I want to, so I can try and tell whether this is like a real-time thing or it's just been like it just updates itself, like, refreshes every night or something.
Give me.
It pops up on the screen, just literally in the corner saying, "You haven't restarted your PC in this long. You have
Exactly.
43 updates."
It's been
Driver update needed.
5,328 years, 9 months, 6 days.
This system has been out of date for 99999.
You can't see the people below, but as you kind of like went down, you could see the orb and the ring like rotated into place.
Wow. So this map, who's still with me?
I'm up there with you.
Yeah,
Hi.
it'd be future me, Nix, and you up there.
Okay, perfect. So Lucy's gonna say, I think this map is like tuned into the city. Like it can tell what's happening to it, or it's mapped to every inch of it, or something. Like, look, you can see this orb and the rings, and like they're the way they are now. That this is really detailed. It's kind of amazing.
Do you want me to relay that to the others? Like, is it just like they need to know?
I mean, it might be good information. It could be something like we could kind of guide them from up here.
Okay. All right. Alice, Theo.
Yes.
The map that we have here apparently is extremely detailed, and we can guide you if need be. I don't know what we're guiding you to, but we can apparently. Can we see them on the map?
No.
We
No.
established no, we can't, but that
Right.
the details of the city itself on the map seem to be like in real time or close to.
Destroy a building, and we'll know where you are.
Out of weird curiosity, is there anywhere I can insert like the sphere that I'm currently holding, like down here?
Give me an investigation check.
We ain't doing nothing.
0.
We know nothing.
Yeah, nothing that you can see.
I've been there.
While this is all happening, future me is attempting to write in either a conversion or an override for the system, because my best guess is that currently the system is running on an old weave. I will
An
attempt
old
to
weave?
update it. Weave. Weave. I will strangle you, and I'll make it look like an accident.
It was right there. I had to.
It's so weird,
That's fair.
officer. It looks like she hung herself entirely.
But her
It's
feet
so
are
weird,
touching
officer.
the ground.
The rope said, "Shut the fuck up." On it.
Yeah, find me first, bitch.
No. And what I'm gonna try to do is update the power draw system. Because my assumption is that it was running off of the old arcane weave before the calamity, and I want to update it to the post-calamity weave, using a mix of arcane and druidic.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to give me
Tie.
an Arcana check, and we're gonna determine what this
For
looks
sure.
like.
I'm gonna guide myself as well, because oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this can go
That's a-
sideways real quickly.
15, 16.
Okay.
So, as you stick your hands in, and you're effectively trying to convince it to like update, like, hey, you're using out of date magic. Is effectively what you're saying to it, right? I'm imagining.
Yeah, I'm trying to like.
Everybody hydrate.
Yeah, I'm trying to like insert conversion code, to get to understand a new language, basically.
As you do, it's almost like the pool reaches up and grabs you, and it like pulls your
That's okay.
hands in like deep into it. So you're wrist deep in this stuff, and it feels mercurial. Like it's like almost like a metal that's like kind of flowing. And as your hands sink in, you can feel the energy that's pulling through here, and it tugs on you, on your very essence. And there's a sensation, and you in 2 moments both recognize, and it is incredibly foreign to you. In the sense of you can feel it not pulling on just your physical being, but your metaphysical being. And then you realize it's not even pulling on your metaphysical being. It's pulling on something much, 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 much deeper than that. It's searching. It's attempting to understand. This is probably the first moment where you realize, like, this isn't computer code. This isn't like an intelligent thing. It thinks, it feels, it's capable of understanding reason and logic.
And I converse with it.
It explains to not you that it is looking for the necessary power to resume its primary function, and that all it needs is an appropriate amount of charges to be there, and it asks for your permission to search your memories.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
That seems like a bad idea.
Yes. Confirm.
There's a pause. Like, it's thinking, it's feeling. You can kind of, like, feeling, and you can see, like, flashes of, like, things you've seen. You can see cities you've walked past, towns. You can see as it kind of, like, it's searching through your memories, trying to find something specifically. Or within
I'm just as lost as it is. We're both here for this ride.
And it seems like it's found something. And as it kind of, like, pulls back, and now you're only really, like, palms deep in it. And it goes, appropriate charges found. Insufficient for full power. Request permission to capture charges.
Define charges.
Charges. And it just, like, repeats the phrase.
In the memories that it pulled up, is there one specifically that it, like, focused on?
The town
That I
closest
can,
to you.
like... Ooh. Confirm.
Neon.
Alice. Remember I told you there was one section of that your brain told you
Not
don't fuck
to do.
with that?
Yeah.
You watch as the runes slowly highlight themselves over and over, and then you watch kind of this gentle shimmer, and it like it's almost like water cascading up the stairs from, like, the base where you are. It starts glowing in the little crystal depiction in the marble in the floor, and you watch it as energy kind of, like, flows up the stairs slowly and slowly, and you watch as it inscribes along the crystal itself. And there's the briefest of pauses, and all of you feel the ground beneath you shift as it goes 12% to you, Neon.
Yeah.
Not enough to, like, do a lot. And, like, in this moment, you're so interfaced with whatever this intelligence is that, like, you understand, like, that's not enough for it to do anything, like, magnificent. Like, you're not going to be able to do things, but it gives you, like, A and B, one of which is, like, defensive protocols, and one of which is to re-engage city stability.
Ooh. I will stabilize the city. I don't want it crashing or like deforming any more than it already has.
All of you feel like it's a almost like an earthquake is the best way to describe it. But it's as where you can stand and where you watch, you feel it from that very center point, and it spreads outwards, slowly spreading out, and you watch as debris is literally just swept aside as this kind of force spreads out and pulls, and eventually the entire city is laid out before you, completely clear, and, like, the mountainside is literally just blasted away from it. Like, it kind of blows off, and this cascading thing. And some of you have, like, ridden early lifts. You know the sensation of being lifted into the air. As you feel the entire city almost, like, tremble and begin to lift up out of the ground. dirt and debris and everything falling away. And from your vantage point, you can see as you pull out of the ground, slowly at first, and slowly rising and rising and rising and rising until you're very clearly in the sky.
Future me?
Yes.
Stop what you're doing, buddy.
I can no longer stop what I am doing. If
What do
I
you mean you
stop, we will cause another crater in the earth, and it will be worse.
What is happening?
I have stabilized the city
How?
with energy.
From where?
Unknown.
I'm
I
just
think
gonna
that
look at her and look at.
Find the source of the energy. Just in case.
Understood. It came from the town, very close by.
Yo, Alice, Theo, we might have a problem.
I don't believe you understand. This city is a living being, much like you or I.
Is that how the map knows exactly what it is? Because it's part of that connection?
Correct.
But
Wow, that's amazing.
are we okay? Cool. Are we sure it's not going to destroy said city?
As long as the systems do not fail again and it crashes back into the earth, I believe the city next door should be fine.
Says it's getting the energy from the city. How's it doing that?
The weave is strange. All things are connected.
Is there any way to move so that if it falls out of the sky again, it's not going to land on anything inhabited?
We can attempt. Can I check in with the city? Can we move, or is it just floating right now?
It's currently just floating. So you're maybe 100 feet off the ground. Like is like the bottom of the city is
Right.
about 100 feet off the ground is kind of where it's like settled. And it's just hovering there. You can is animal handling still a thing? I don't even remember now.
Animal handling is still a thing.
Or do you have proficiency by any chance in vehicles?
Oh, do you have proficiency in boat?
Yeah.
I
We both-
I am not proficient in boat.
Damn
Damn
it.
it.
And I'm not proficient in animal handling at the moment either.
I have animal handling. I have that.
I just want to know if it's possible to
Um,
move with the current power that we have.
Give me just a straight intelligence check.
Straight intelligence, not arcana.
Yeah, this one's more of a like how you're able to perceive what you're receiving, because you're now receiving a ton of like
10.
information simultaneously. So one of the things you understand is that the moving of the city is not necessarily difficult or energy consuming.
Mhm.
It's just if the city bounces into anything, it's gonna have to like right itself. So like there's a risk associated with it. So you can give it instructions to move, and it'll try its darndest to move to where you tell it to go. But it's not good at like, it won't be able to detect like, hey, there's a bunch of trees in the way. It's just gonna plow through all of those trees as it goes, kind of thing.
Right. Because we're only about 100 feet off the ground
Yeah.
from the bottom of the city. Okay. Is there any way to get it higher?
You can. It's not currently recommended. Basically, the system's like,
Okay.
this is stable and safe, and like if anything goes wrong, we'll be fine.
Okay. Okay.
That's not bad.
I'd like to run a secondary system diagnostic. Now that it has some power,
Yeah.
what are things looking like?
Basically, whereas before the code was just like, it kind of like it spat everything out across the consoles. Now that you're connected, it's more or less talking to you, in a very halting and disconnected way, as it just kind of like as it runs through things. So it's like shield systems are offline, not insufficient power for both systems, and it kind of like starts going through that. So like you know that like it can fly or it can activate its shields, which it appears to have. So that's the defensive systems, and there's other things tied into that. It can activate like water containment, so it's got like a water processing system, or more accurately, it uses the spell create water to fill that reservoir that you guys saw. And like it can do that, but like it's you've got one or the other. So right now it's flying, and that's about all it can do. With more charges, it could charge itself enough to the point where it theoretically could do multiple things simultaneously. It's just like it's still in this like I have not like, you know, when your phone's like, hey, you could unplug me now, but you probably shouldn't. It's kind of giving you that where it's like I'm still technically in low power mode.
Okay. Given the area around us, is there a viable path towards ocean?
Yeah, you could. It'd be slow. Like you'd have to like. Yeah. I mean, you could go through the town. That's there. But
I don't think we want to take a floating city 100 feet over another city.
Yeah. Like so there's just a smaller town. Like so basically like there was the big city you came from. There was a smaller town that was nearby to this settlement. Like maybe 5,000 people kind of thing, like fairly small little hamlet. You could kind of try and like skirt around it, but like you understand there's a concept of like vision that this thing has that like neither of like it knows that it's waiting for instructions from something else to be told to see. And it's missing some component of that. So it'll like if you tell it like go directly south, which would take you to the ocean, it'll do its best to go like straight south. But that's about like the best it's gonna west actually, southwest. To the ocean. Like it'll beeline in whatever direction you tell it to go.
Okay. With my topographical map knowledge that we've given future me at this point, would I be able to like use longitude and latitude to like basically sketch a series of straight lines for the city to follow?
I'd give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Because you're translating two separate things into it. You can. There's no guarantee like it's gonna be perfectly straight, and there's a chance you might like skim some of the buildings, like some of the towns and stuff like that, to kind of like weave your way there. And also like there's a full understanding that the people in that town definitely would have seen the city like lift out of the crater that was on their doorstep. Then
I'm gonna enter a series of points for it to follow until we're kind of over the ocean, so that if something goes wrong, we'll just land in water.
Okay. Give me a straight D20.
Straight D20.
Can Nick swim?
Yeah. 10.
Yeah, I'll say you're able to do it. There's some like moments where like you tense, like you're like, that's not quite the path I told you to go, but it does like you don't. There's no sensation that you've run into anything. So you know it's a microphone.
Oh, she's so big now.
She is.
No. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it manages to like kind of float out, and you know, like as you can see kind of like out the edge, you know you've like kind of skimmed along and you are now outside of water. So you're just like you're probably hovering over top of water.
I have relocated the city to a safer location.
I think that's a good plan. But like even as she talks, Lucy is still like staring at the map of the city. She's got like a piece of like charcoal out and her notebook open and is like tracing the city map the best she can across like multiple pages of the book, like because she's gonna want this all for later for some reason or another. So to keep us where we are, do you have to stay here talking to the city, or do you think we can go explore a little?
I believe I can disconnect at this point.
Yeah, you could say like stay here, and it would do that. As if you do go to disconnect, it's going to warn you that like city primary protocols will take effect if you disconnect and it's left in autopilot. So like its primary protocol is don't crash into the ground. Protocol number 2 is protect the city at all costs. So like that's kind of the way it treats that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's fine. Is there like an authorized users list? Like a group of people that have access or people that don't have access?
Not really. There seemed to be like a hierarchy of who was allowed to get this close to the panel. Like for the most part, people that were allowed to live in this city, like in theory, if you were allowed in this room, you could touch this panel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Basically the way it's treated is like if for whatever reason you were allowed here, you're probably good.
Gotcha. Can I instate a lockdown so that like only I can interface with the panel?
You could try. There are like you could tell it like, hey, I'm the only person allowed to control this system going forward, and it like accepts it as a valid command, but you know there's an exception that exists like in the background.
Absolutely. I'm sure that exception, though, whoever that exception is probably long dead. So I'm willing to take that.
Who knows?
Who knows?
David.
I knows.
Someone's on ice in a fridge or something.
My main concern is that I don't want, like, the paladins coming aboard the city and just deciding this is theirs now. Like, that sort of deal.
An ancient super weapon falling into the hands of a group of morally corrupt individuals? What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Like, anyone but me, like, is not allowed to interface with this panel or give the city commands.
Yeah,
for the point of, like, sky pirates or paladins or anyone that's not this group or the Freedom Adventure Company.
Oh yeah, like
or Frontier Adventure Company.
There are now like 100% like people have seen this now. Like even people outside of the town, like they have seen a floating city go like dawdling past, and they're like, because most of these are destroyed ruins that like when they're found, they are not in condition to do what this one is currently doing. So,
and how large is this city, by the way? Is it like small town city, or is it like
city? Like we're probably
city.
talking like 25-kilometer radius.
Okay, sounds good.
Everyone else. Alice and Theo, you guys have been downstairs for this entire adventure.
Alice did not like the flying. The sudden flying. She's like, oh, Theo, like, what is going on?
I think Theo's used to like, things like being on airships many times and, crashing one. It's kind of like, oh, ascending, cool. And as it's moving, it's like, oh, we haven't hit anything. That is excellent. That is great. I think he's been busy just kind of looking around the room, like just trying to see if there's any more to gain from the room, like figure out if there's anything else happening here.
Nothing really like jumps out to you in the room itself. The space is kind of set up in such a way that like this like specific room, like there's a door that leads out, like people that were coming here were meant to like come in, and then if they were admitted up, like there was a degree of reverence that like was supposed to take place. So it's almost like the front foyer to a church would be the kind of like the best way to describe kind of the sensation that this is. Like before you get to the actual chapel, this is like that entry space. It's meant to be grand. It's meant to like inspire you as you stand there and you're forced to engage with it.
Like the welcome to the club.
Yeah, like they have the ability to float a city, but there isn't an elevator in here. You have to walk up 20 stories worth of stairs to get to where you need to go.
Well, we walked up how many to get here? Or some of us?
All the officials in this city were ripped as hell.
Calves like fucking tree trunks.
Or they had a fly spell.
No.
I just
The
like
fly
to see
spell
like
was they
elves
would-
just like giant calves just like every morning.
Yeah, every morning on the way to work.
Yes, super not.
Don't worry,
ADA compliant.
the wheelchairs of the city too also had giant calves. Don't worry.
They hover and they were pulled by baby cows.
I think Theo would probably, like, if the psychic connection is still going on, I think he would send a message out to Nyx and Alice and say that maybe we should go see what's happening in the city now that everything is up and running.
I guess Nyx will be like, so they want to go look at the city.
This is smart. The city has been unburied, so there should be more to explore.
Question. Just throwing
Answer.
that out there for everybody. What the hell are we gonna do with a giant floating city?
Whatever we would like.
Not fall off.
It'd probably hurt.
Moon's here and hydrating us. Congratulations, Moon.
Is
Congrats, Moon.
Moon!
Congrats.
there? Moon, go to bed. Rest.
Rest,
For the
yes.
love of God, please.
Thank you for the hydrate, but
Love
rest
you,
time.
Moon.
Thank you for the hydrate.
Hope
Alright,
you and your
rest.
little moon's doing well.
I think Theo would say, like, hearing Nick say that, like, what the hell we're gonna do with Flying City. I think he would mention, like, maybe place it somewhere where it can't, endanger anyone, cause any kind of harm, just in case. Like,
Oh, yeah,
Is-
can we see that it's over water or just the people up top?
You guys wouldn't be able to see from here. No, there's a bunch
yeah.
of buildings in your way. You just know you lifted up out of the ground and then moved.
maybe find some grassy plain, someplace that's like not where civilization isn't present.
I'm gonna relay that on to my man who's running the whole thing. Future me?
We are currently over water.
Theo, we are currently over water.
Can the city float on water?
Future
Unsure.
me, can the city float on water?
Unsure. However,
Yeah.
I just shrugged.
Are you still
unsure,
connected?
However, in a shrug. I don't know what you want to go
yeah.
with that.
I'd be willing to bet that I confirm that like it floats.
Yeah, the cities were known to one thing that's very prominent in Sarusha culture is staying near the coasts. And some of that is probably a very long descended tradition of when these cities were sent out, they usually stayed near coasts because that's usually they were built in the water and then did their thing, yeah.
I had a hunch. Additionally, as I'm reconnected to this terminal to figure out that we're good on the water, I will double check if it lands in the water now, will it be fine?
From this height, it's going to experience flooding, but it'll resurface no problem.
Okay, never mind then. I won't tell it to stop floating and redirect to protection.
You can
then.
just tell it to land. That's a valid command.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And if it lands, it will stay kind of
Yeah, it'll gently put itself in the water, and then the sewers will flood. That's what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, the actual structure itself.
Then I will get it to land properly and gently.
Yeah.
And then redirect to protection. Redirect the energy to protection.
Okay. So the city itself descends gently into the water, and you can feel it as it touches the water, as it's kind of like a boat. You can feel a boat hit it, settling in the water is effectively the sensation you end up with is that it kind of sets, and as you're go to protection mode, you watch as the sphere, another couple of the rings turn, and you watch as light from the perspective of downstairs, Tegan Allison and Theo, basically the ground glows and you watch a beam shoot straight up. It hits the crystal lights up, and then it kind of like carries up through the floor to the main crystal itself. And then you watch as a shimmering pink light spreads out from the top, like above you. There's a window you can see, and you watch as it spreads out and slowly cascades down in a dome form, forming a protective shield. It's basically the shield spell on crack.
Additionally, city unit, please identify.
Actually,
What's the name?
yeah, it is the City of Endless Nights.
Ooh.
I will relay this to Lucy specifically. To Nyx too, but I'm sure Lucy has more interest in that knowledge than Nyx.
Yeah, I think Nixon should be like, cool. The city has a name, guys.
Whereas like Lucy writes it down in like one corner of the map and then starts like drawing little stars around it.
I think. May I see your journal?
Oh yeah, sure.
And I'll hold it. And where you've written City of Endless Nights, I'll write the Elven version of that underneath for you.
Wow, that's so pretty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
I believe it would
recognize
aid in your
Elven-
studies.
I can recognize Elven when I see it, but I can't like read it. Not like I can't like I can read Sarasha, but yeah, Elven is like so fancy.
Sarusha syntax has come a long way since the original root.
That probably has a lot to do with why I can't follow the original route. But this is gorgeous. Thank you. Do you
You're welcome.
speak Elven like fluently?
Yes,
Excellent. So I can ask you if I need translations?
that is correct.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Blackwell, you're saying something.
I think Theo would send using the second connection to Nyx and ask, like, wait, it has a name? It's alive?
Apparently.
Correct.
To be honest, I'll be honest. I don't really know what's going on up here, man. I'm trying my best to follow. Apparently we have landed in the water now. We are in the water. We are no longer flying.
Is there a way maybe it could tell us what happened? If it's alive, it might know what.
You know
Went
what?
down?
Let me ask the people that are actually doing stuff because I don't know what's going on. Hey, future me,
Yes.
can you ask the city what happened? Like where the people went?
I can attempt. I'll try to pull up any sort of like black box information or like logs.
You get the technological equivalent of just and then a series of errors, and then it's series of errors, power issue, series of errors, and then something big happened and everything went wrong. And then the city was alone, but it was alone on the ground, and it doesn't really understand the concept of it, so it's been in protection mode for the last however long.
I just look at Nyx and I just kind of gesture roughly multiple times.
This is just so future me got back to me. Just wildly, we got nothing. Nothing. I'm gonna just.
That is okay. Let's go see what's happening out in the city. I don't think there's much we can do here. We still got a lot to explore and see what's going on.
Yes, perhaps there are more clues within other buildings.
The city is now in protective mode as well. We should be fairly safe to wander as needed. And undisturbed.
city's protected. You guys, like, Nyx is just relaying everything that, like, doing the back and forth radio, just like, all right.
I feel like at this point, Theo will just start walking up the stairs.
Yeah, just like opening the door right here.
Is there still like a glow going up the mural?
It's not the same. Like it's kind of settled. Like you can tell that like however this mural was done, it was always meant to kind of like, now that the crystal's got power and it's kind of glowing, the way the light reflects off of it, before the colors were like weird and muted, but now they're like, you can see that this was the intended effect. This is how you were always meant to see this. So that whereas before it was kind of like dullish, now like there's like vibrant reds and yellows and stuff like that that are like actually able to be seen.
So kind of like when you use like colors in like UV light or like glow in the dark. It looks one way when it's light on it, but then when you turn the lights off, it's different.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good comparison.
Shall we reconnect with our friends downstairs?
I think that's a good idea. I would love to look around the city, especially now that I have a map.
Excellent.
And the mural just stops at like the top of the stairs, right?
Yeah,
And then,
so like basically this is a telling of the story of like the elves and their rise to power.
that makes more sense as we go back up. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, as you're walking back up, you're like, oh wow, it was kind of weird. Like it seemed like them like being all kind and like, oh no, they were monsters. They were horrible, oppressive monsters. As you kind of like get up, like it like as walking back, you're like, oh, like there's depictions of like coliseums where they had gladiatorial style combat, and like a lot of it is very much like if you weren't an elf, you were lesser, and that's what you were.
Like Christopher Columbus.
Elf or nothing.
Yeah. Like and like even the depiction of them, like all the elves are always depicted as like physically taller than all the other races.
Despite artistic representation, elves were the same height as everyone else.
Brad Pitt of races here. No, sorry,
At a
Tom
certain
Cruise.
height, they all look the same kind of height to me from down here.
This is because you are shorter than average.
I mean, not where I come from, I'm not.
Yeah, future me.
Recalculating bell curve. Discounting height
Different depending on
Georg.
where you go.
Like it was funny, and then like you're giggling to yourself, and then just like pushes me right back over.
I love that I made a character where I get to reference anything I want ever, and I
Yeah.
can make it work.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
I'm assuming you guys all actually reconvene, kind of like back down on the ground floor.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like out of the center, basically where you were in like the center, there's the central tower. There's a courtyard. You can tell there used to be like these big, beautiful trees that have long since died. They're just like the husks of them remain. And the grass is all like just gone. And then out of that are 8 more towers that like kind of go up there. One of those is the tower which you came in through. Oh, excuse me. And then like the city kind of like spans out from there. And now that you're like looking at this dome that's covering the city, you're like, oh, that's why the buildings are built like that. That actually kind of makes perfect sense. Yeah, are you looking for anything specific, I guess?
I believe we were tasked with commandeering any dangerous magical artifacts. As far as I am aware, the city counts as one dangerous magical artifact.
I don't think we can
She's
bring this
not wrong.
back with us.
Incorrect. I believe if we restore additional power, we will be able to bring this back with us.
I don't know if that's exactly what we're supposed to do. It feels a little extreme, maybe.
Perhaps there are smaller objects we
Could-
can bring back.
Were we given a sending stone or anything to the guild?
Yeah.
No.
This was
Wait!
an entire series of events that were not supposed to transpire, and now have. They were hoping you would be down there for a few weeks, all by your lonesome.
Nick's the
Incorrect.
Fry, right? Was it Fry? Was that what his name was? The seagull? Oh, Nick. Sorry, future me. Tired. You have your seagull
Pardon?
friend, right?
Yes, I am aware of Fry.
Would
In
you
fact,
would,
actually, Fry should be around here somewhere, as
Would you
seeing that
be-
this is the ocean.
would you be able to get Fry a message to the guild leader?
I would be able to do this. It would take time.
I think we have nothing but time at this point.
Let me just. Oh, what spell was that? That was like Animal Messenger, right?
I think
Animal Friendship.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Can Fry even get inside?
Oh,
the
there it
dome
is.
now?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I do not currently have Fry prepared. I will need to sleep.
I see. There goes that plan.
Sending. Takes a little, won't take as much time, but Alice could use ascending.
Yeah.
And you will be, yeah, I guess.
She's met them, so at least one to it. Yeah.
I'm ready to count.
Hmm.
25
Alright.
words.
Oh gosh,
Alright,
yeah,
here we
25
go.
words. How should we start this?
Whoops.
That's it. That's the only word.
Like,
Oopsie poopsie.
we safely got to city. Surprise, it's alive.
It's alive. Alive is one word.
Yeah,
You
alive.
counted it as two.
Currently in the ocean. Will explore and report back.
Please include the coordinates, and I'll list off like 50 north, like the longitude and latitude,
Okay,
because
yeah.
we have 5, 6, 7, 8 words left, and I feel like 50 north and this east, and that
Yeah.
that should be within 8 words.
And also, city is floating.
He responds with, I specifically told you not to raise the city.
Did
I don't think you did.
you did.
Reports coming in that something has happened. Military on their way.
Oh no!
Please don't harm them. Please.
Cities in protection mode.
Please don't
cities in
harm them,
protection mode.
please.
They can get it through the protection bubble.
Meow.
Oh.
Do you relay that?
Yes.
I love that it has a block feature. The creature receiving can like respond and then be like, and by the way, number blocked for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, it only lasts 8 hours?
Alice will be like, I do not remember them saying not to raise the city. Just be careful.
I also do not remember them saying not to raise the city.
Oh,
I don't
told
think
not
that
to raise
either.
the
I didn't think it was a possibility even.
they said
Everything
raise,
is possible.
but like you all thought, like you were like raise as an R-A-Z-E.
As in destroy.
All
right.
Oops.
Well,
Well, the way we interpreted it, we didn't do it.
We did not raise the city.
City did that all by itself.
Hey, that's
Well,
true.
Future me, you kind of did.
The city
I
is
did not
a
raise
living
the city.
being-
The city is in better condition than it was before.
The city's a living being that can make its own decisions, and we have no right to take its agency away.
Exactly.
Before we get to investigating the city, we're gonna take a quick break right here. Get a chance to
Beautiful.
stretch our legs, refill our water, because we've all been hydrated a couple times. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, everyone. See you
Okay.
soon.
Porridge.
Welcome back. Where,
Guess why?
welcome back to
Defeating Sim.
to Dungeons and
soup.
Dragons, where one of us eats soup and the rest of
Back to
us
soup.
make.
They're being mean to me, chat. Soup.
Can we get an F in chat for the soup?
Evan chat for the soup. Good soup. It's good soup before anyone asks.
Why are you buying clothes in the soup store?
Fuck you.
Press F to soup.
Okay, but in the way I would wear a shirt that just says soup.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
diagonally.
Like the old Campbell's like soup can.
Yeah.
Just says
Yeah,
soup.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's the soup.
What kind of
I'm
soup?
trying to eat, guys. Leave me alone.
We do this because we love you.
What kind of soup? I had a bunch of spices in my cabinet, and so I made soup.
Okay.
Fair.
Soup.
Fair.
It's chicken, there's some corn, some rice, and some spices. And it's spicy. I like it.
Beautiful.
I can't...
A cereal soup. But anyways.
Yes.
Cereal is soup.
Cereal
Next
is
question.
soup.
True.
It's a breakfast soup. Get on my level.
The power of breakfast soup.
Dumped.
Fuck. I don't know where we're going with this.
We're gonna get killed, but I have soup.
The military's coming.
Eventually the military
Cereal
will
is soup.
show up.
Thank you. Thank you, Royer.
It's yeah, eventually they're gonna be like, hey, like these were they're documented and recorded as like one of the things from that era that it's like, oh yeah, they were horrifying. Nobody wanted one of these to show up.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Too bad.
So everyone's like a little freaked out that that's exactly the turn of events that has happened.
love
So yeah, eventually, naval ships are going to show up. But it's gonna take some time. Like they're gonna have to get going, get moving, but they'll be here eventually.
I think Theo would, look at the group and say, should we contact our owling friend and let him know what we found and see if he possibly knows of anything about this place?
Probably a good idea. Future me also. Could you hide this city?
Are you gonna go a whole Atlantis here and turn the shield into a cloak?
Can we go Atlantis on this bitch?
Is this a possibility?
No, it doesn't have that capacity.
Damn it!
The ability to turn an entire city and everyone in it invisible would consume a metric boatload of power. It would run out of power way too
10th
quickly.
level spell. Nuh-uh.
What you mean?
Actually, I'm gonna cast 10th level spell. A milkshake.
A smoothie.
What do you have? A milk smoothie.
A smoothie. You know what? We're all chaotic today.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, we're so far
like
off the
home.
rails. I was like, yeah, there's no way future me's gonna be like, yeah, float the city. I was like,
You
I
should
should have
always be
known.
like, yes.
I was like,
You
oh,
should
it's,
have known.
It's
Shut
neon.
You should
should
I'm
have.
gonna
know.
float the city.
They projected
give
it earlier.
them
They
the
said
option.
Jimmy's going to hit that button.
Yeah.
That
Oh
we
yeah,
shouldn't
they
hit.
they're like, what? Watch me press that button. Watch
Yeah.
future me
I'm
press
gonna-
that button. Future me press the button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to clip all that together now.
and it wasn't fly, by the way. That's not what the button was. That was scary either. That's the worst
No.
part. You don't know what that did. It did something. You just don't know what.
I know.
Hooray!
Look, I'm willing to admit that my character probably committed mass murder just then, but like, it is what it is.
We ball.
Energy is energy, and it goes where it wants.
It cannot be destroyed, only redirected.
Exactly. Those people are still there. They're just different.
Different.
Max is just like, I can't go back to jail, guys. I can't go back to jail. We need to make this not a thing. Maybe talk to our owl friend. He knows more. Oh, right. We should probably fill you in. We know an owl person who also studies ancient magic. Oh, understandable.
While
Who
Pixie
has the
dives live
connection
on camera.
stone for heroin?
Who does have the connection? I have his manifesto.
Sure.
I do. In my thing, it says heroin's manifesto. The explorations of heroin.
Nerp done.
I forgot
You
about
can't even read it.
I got it. Haven't read it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
have the nerp
sure.
gun.
I'm pretty sure that future me has the stepping stone.
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sure to.
If you need his manifesto, I got it. Might be
Coffee
something in
machine
there.
is spicy tonight.
I'm gonna give it a hold in my hand, hit the activation rune, and go, "Hello, heroin. We have found something of interest."
There's kind of a pause, and then it's the sound of like, you know, when somebody's like scrambling to pick up a phone,
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
going back. Actually, most kids these days probably won't know that sensation, but like, you know.
Yeah. The kids these days don't have the cord that can only go so far, so you have to hunch over the phone.
I made a joke about the curly phone cord at cadets the other night,
Yeah.
and they all stared at me like I had just told them, like, back in the day, cars used to not have roofs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my 2 new coworkers are in their early 20s, and I have that experience all the time.
I'm so
Um,
sorry
wind
that
your
you're getting
window up.
older.
There was no automatic window. You had to wind it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend still has the windy windows, and he said, I drove someone home the other day, and they were in like their early 20s, and they looked at me and said, how do I roll down the windows? And I wanted to kick them out of the car.
I was trying to explain texting before there was a keyboard on your phone.
T9?
the other
Oh, when you press like
Oh.
the button and you need to press it again just to get to the thing. It took forever
Yeah,
just to
I
write
just kinda
hello.
got blank looks. I'm like, no, for real. Like that's how it worked.
Yeah.
There were no pictures either in those text messages.
No, you had to.
And when pictures
Colon
did start
bracket.
coming in those text messages, it was a wild west.
Yeah.
And it cost you 30 cents to do, so you know.
Yeah.
Hey, all of us had stood by the radio saying, everybody shut up. I have to record this for my ringtone.
Yeah. What a CD.
I remember paying for a
anyways, though.
ringtone.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
now
I've never
I
paid for a
would pay
ringtone,
to
but
have my phone
no.
never
Oh,
ring
yeah.
again.
Yeah, Heroin answers and goes, "Oh, what is it? What have you found?"
I am currently standing within the city of Endless Nights. It is vaguely capable of operation.
I'm not familiar with that city. Is Sarah Shaw city?
Elvin.
Oh.
We can all hear this, and I was like, yeah, buddy, you might want to come check this out.
Well, that's Huh. I will.
You know he can teleport. He can teleport here. He's done it before.
He's like, I'm gonna prepare an expedition to come with you. I'm gonna bring some of the union members. I'm sure they would be
Bring
fantastic.
the doctors,
Uh,
just in case.
The kobold. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure one of them or maybe all of them would be interested. I don't know. Yeah, it'll take me some time to prepare, but we can try. Yeah, I'll focus on your sending stone. And
We are currently located at, and I'll give him coordinates too.
okay.
And I think Nix would just warn and be like, "Also, the military's coming. Just thought you should know."
Please tell your
Are-
boyfriend where we are.
Yeah,
are
please tell
you
your boyfriend.
are you not like they're all underground? Are you not underground? That's the middle
No,
of the
we are
ocean.
currently floating on water.
Future being made it fly.
Yeah, we have flight
Oh.
capacity.
Oh.
Would it be
Freaked a lot of
safe?
people out. I'll be honest.
It's amazing.
Would it be safe to bring it to you, or
Absolutely not. Okay. So you have an elven city with enough power to fly. That is
Correct.
fascinating. I have so many questions.
Float.
And float. That's somehow takes the thunder out of it. But
Oh, we flew,
Don't
and
you-
then we landed on the water, so now we're floating. So
conserve
it can
power.
fly.
We are currently sitting at approximately 12% power. We are unable to fly within full capacity.
okay. Excellent. Well, okay. Yeah, we'll get people together. I will contact you when I am ready, and be safe, I guess. I don't know if they have defenses or anything. Usually it's just grave robbers.
We have defenses.
Okay, excellent.
Maybe we do not turn those on.
They are already on.
Yeah, we might want to bring those down.
Incorrect.
Not until he is
no.
ready.
Yeah, and he's gonna effectively hang up on you.
Nope.
Yeah, do you want to go back to the library? Do you want to look around a little bit more? Something specific you're looking for? What's the vibe? What's the feel? What's the interest?
Nix is gonna sit in a corner drinking whiskey. Just be like, nope.
I'm kind of curious about that school that we saw earlier. Like, that's still in my head.
Yeah.
Usually schools have some form of information, something like academic literature. Kids leave things in their desks.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be a short walk, but you could definitely walk back to that school.
I think I would offer that up to the party, like, this is a place we can go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to split the party. I don't know what the others want to do, but
I think school sounds awesome.
so there's kind of maybe two of us that can read. Can I ritual cast comprehend languages?
Definitely can.
Perfect.
I guess I can do the. Since I see everybody, I can do. If we split up into groups, I could do the. I could be the walkie-talkie again. And just spend another dice. That might be safer.
Well, how much time is left from the last time?
Probably been over an hour.
You're coming up at the very least towards the end of it, yeah. It would have taken like probably half an hour for the city to float its way over here.
Fair.
So if we want to split up into two groups, that'd be easier for me to relay information with.
I would still like to confirm the presence or lack thereof of any magical artifacts in the city.
Split the
Agreed. But
Party ever so slightly.
ever so,
Ever so slightly.
ever so.
So I think it might be just like 2 and 3, maybe?
You'll be fine.
Who am I going with? Like Nix is just like, well, first I'm going to roll the die to see how many hours we have.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go start that.
I have 4. Okay.
Nice.
7
7
hours.
hours.
7
Okay,
hours will be
perfect.
connected.
And that should take you to sundown.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
I love that.
So
So as opposed to being like underground, we're like out in just like bright daylight now, I guess, huh?
Just yeah, you're relatively like you're just north of the Cerulean coast, which is kind of like Sarah Shaw territory. And it's beautiful. Like it's a gorgeous area. This is normally a touristy destination. So
lots of people to see what's happening.
oh yeah, like you would have gotten close enough to the West Haven to like people would have been like, what's that. And like it'd be small enough in the distance that it would like look funny. Just like a disc floating across their like vision in the distance. They'd be like, that's weird.
I'm just picturing like Sarah Shaw out like sunning on some beach. And it's like an alien invasion movie where slowly like the sun gets covered and it gets dark and this massive city just passes overhead.
There's one guy holding an ice cream cone and the ice cream falls out of the cone.
But it's okay because in the end credits he gets his ice cream finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not there yet though, so he's sad right now.
Is it gonna be Nyx and future me, and then
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with future me.
I believe that your expertise would be valuable in this area.
Next is like, sure. What am I gonna know? Right beside it.
What expertise?
It's not what you know, it's what you do.
thievery?
It's like,
Sneaking.
am I stealing something now? I'm good with it, but ooh.
Hydrate.
It's like, now I'm helpful.
Hydrate.
Then I guess it's Theo, Lucy, and Allison.
You know what? Pixie, I will redeem something. Go get your ice cream.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna have it afterward.
That's fair.
Oh, I have an ice cream in my.
I will bonus treasure. Everybody go get some ice cream.
Hell yeah, bonus treasure.
We find a magical freezer filled with ice cream.
It's been 5,000 years. They're all weirdly fine.
There's an elf in there for some
This
reason.
is the super weapon. No, actually, it's not an elf. It's like a freezy pop of an elf with gumball eyes, but the eyes are like here.
Yeah.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog freezy pop. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Or SpongeBob.
No. It's got to be Sonic.
yeah,
Sonic's always the scariest looking.
no SpongeBob in
Yeah.
this household.
Spider-Man's never good either. Let's be honest.
His eyes usually like down here. Okay, so Lucy, Alice, and Theodore, we'll start with you guys. Walking back to the school. It's a really nice building. It's got like a play area around. You can tell there used to be like grass and stuff like that. It's all dead, or kind of like taken over by like fungus and underground shrubs and stuff. They can survive in the non-existent light. But yeah, it's otherwise a relatively unassuming building. But yeah.
Is there any way to get in, or is it like gated off?
There's
or...
two, like basically kind of there's a fence towards the back, and then there's just a large set of doors at the front.
Before we go in, I would like to cast Detect Magic. 10 minutes should give us a relatively good look around.
Yeah. So there's like right from the get-go, I mean, your obvious and most potent thing that you kind of, as you like look around and start to see is, well, the sky is shimmering with magic. As again, this is like, you can pretty well tell like this is some form of shield. There's something else mixed with it, but it's effectively just shield for the purposes of what it does. And then there's like residual bits of magic around. You can tell, like, again, the same thing as in the library where there was those lanterns. There's some hanging outside, and they've got kind of like the wisps of like there was magic here at one point, and it has long since expired. And then there seems to be some stuff inside, so there's probably something that was used for like teaching purposes inside the school.
Okay. Well, no giant magical red flags, so let's check it out.
Walking in through the front doors, I'm assuming is the way you guys are going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So as you walk in through the front doors, it's like every high school you've ever been in. Is the best way I can describe it. There's an entryway, and then there's hallways that kind of go around. There's some kind of large center in the middle, and then there's classrooms kind of spread throughout. There's no actual library in the school because it's directly next door to a library, so that was kind of the resources that they shared. The thing that was of notice is as you walked through the door, you had to like put a fair bit of effort to open them. It's like whatever happened to like close the building off, it's sealed. So there was some kind of seal that was like just in terms of like actually keeping stuff out. It like engaged at some point. So this room, like as you open, you feel like air rushing in, and there's a mustiness to it of air that has sat stale and abandoned for a long period of time.
I
And
will
everything
just
is-
tell people open the doors.
It is for the most part untouched. Like it seems untouched by time.
Okay.
Now that we're in here, is there anything that like from this side of the wall I get a better read on?
You can tell one of the things of note is some of the classrooms seem to have like magical auras, and they kind of like shift through the schools. So like on the lower level here, it's kind of a 2-story building. The lower level as you go around, it appears to be dedicated to schools of magic. As you kind of like walk through, you can kind of trace them. And then there's the central room that again like was kind of sealed off. It felt almost like as you kind of like looked through, it kind of like maybe that was a gymnasium or something. But like it's got a very similar feeling to the crystal that you worked with. So probably something educational related to that.
Okay, cool. So again, no giant magical red flags.
Nothing that jumps out at you. Like again, like there's a room dedicated to like necromancy. So like
Yeah.
at some point, like people were tampering with it, but nothing that's like there's no traps that are really apparent. Nobody's like booby
like
trapped this space or
Walking by the rooms, I can feel that like people definitely learned divination magic in this room.
Yeah.
Over like years and years and years kind of deal.
probably centuries. Like this space was probably used so often for that function that like
Yeah.
like it's baked into the walls.
Amazing. Lucy's just like so wide-eyed.
I think Theo will walk into one of these rooms. Probably the one that is, we'll say the divination room, like the room that's dealing with that.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
so as you walk in, effectively how the room is laid out is that the center is sunk almost like a 70s or 60s conversation pit, right? So like the central teaching space is clearly meant so they could walk around and instruct around them. They didn't like have everyone facing the front. Everyone kind of like looked down into the space. And the desks are the same kind of like smooth material that you saw in the control room. So it looks like they can like write notes on them and it would like record them for them.
Nice.
Is there anything that's in the room that's looked like it was left behind, like books, bags?
Yeah, there's a fair bit, and mostly they look like textbooks. Some of them might be novels. It's really hard for you to tell, other than the cover is less educational looking. You know, where it's like instead of just being like random shapes and it's like, oh, that's clearly a math textbook. You're like, oh, like this has got like a picture of a unicorn on it, and it doesn't look like the kind of a picture of a unicorn where it's an anatomy book. It's like, here's your magical unicorn friend. So it's a little bit, so like whatever happened here, people just kind of like left their personal effects behind when they left. They just kind of like put things down and like left the space. Windows were closed and everything, and it feels like the space was sealed off. But it also kind of like, you know when you have a fire drill and you're like, oh, we're gonna leave and we're definitely going to come back. That's the kind of sense you get of here, where like some stuff's taken, but it's like probably like very personal effects. Everything else is just like, I don't care about my school books. Like, they burn in the fire, who gives a shit, right? That's the school's problem. But yeah, so like that's kind of the feel you've got here.
Mm. I think that's what he's.
There was slight warning before the city fell.
my brain keeps saying that usually in schools there's usually like in teachers like drawers you'll find like stuff that professors have taken from students, especially if it's like a middle school, high school, elementary school, just like things that students shouldn't have, or in the principal office, like things that kids shouldn't have that the principal's confiscated for the day until the parents came and got it. I think that's what he's looking for. Things that were like clear cut, taken away from one reason or another.
Yeah. Give me investigation.
You got this.
Where my character should go? One moment.
One moment,
Not
please.
again. All our character sheets get deleted in the middle of a session. That never happens.
No, never.
Never.
Never
I don't know
again.
what
I
you're talking about. It never even happened once. Not for me.
What you mostly find is mundane. Some like a pile of notes, like clearly somebody was sneaking notes kind of thing.
Nerp gun.
Yeah, a nerp gun, sure, why not? You know, just like super basic, like childish things, right? Yeah.
Good enough, not well, no, not with that 8.
I think Lucy would wander off on her own. She's looking less at the classrooms where magic was taught and looking like, well, she does obviously have an interest in that. She's looking more for a space where maybe like world history or geography or religion or something like that was taught, like more cultural things than magical things.
So there's kind of two ways to look at it. So the central room I mentioned kind of like as like had that feel of the crystal. So what you can see is as you walk down the halls kind of like along the side, there's windows that look into that room. So like it's much larger. It seems to be some kind of gathering space. There's cushions on the floor. Like this is clearly a place like a lot of people could sit and learn in something. There is a softball sized sphere of this crystal that's kind of like sitting there, like in the middle of the room. So like it served some purpose there. It doesn't look like it's a power source. Like it definitely looks like it was like they were using it for something else. It could have been educational. It could have been, you know, something like that. And there's notes and stuff scattered around there. And then the way you can tell the layout is like the lower level is what I would almost call like practical application of magic. That's kind of like how it's laid out. Is this is all classrooms dedicated to the schools of magic. Up the stairs, that sensation of all these different like sections of magic kind of fades away, and that's probably just where like your more traditional classrooms are, your mathematics, your history, stuff like that.
In the center room, I would like to do kind of a quick sketch of where and how that sphere is sitting.
Yeah.
Is it giving off any kind of like magical energy or anything right now, or it's just kind of?
It's like it's dormant. Like it's just kind of like
Okay.
sitting there vibing. It's very much like the crystal that was hanging above you was before you charged it. So like it's probably in like low power mode itself. Like energy has been pulled away from it, probably by the city itself. And what it is so there's a circular table in the middle of the room, and then there's a stone pedestal that kind of comes up to the center of the table, and the orb kind of hovers above it. There's like notes and stuff around it. But it looks more in the sense of like people would come by, they would stand there, they would take their notes, and then they would kind of be around the space. Especially from the way that like there's like the scrolls and paper and stuff spread about. And then the cushions all kind of like radiate out around that. So it was like they all kind of like sat very much in the same way as a classroom, where they all kind of like looked inwards, and they would sit and they would like stare inwards kind of thing.
Yeah. So Lucy kind of piles up some cushions to climb up on top of them. So she's like at eye level with the orb. And she's leaning in like closer and closer, like her nose is almost touching it, right? Like, if it were this were a really cold environment, like her breath would be fogging it up at this point.
Yeah.
And she's just like staring very intently.
Give me a straight like D20.
Okay. Oh, that's a natural one.
Nothing really seems to catch your eye in the room other than obviously what you're kind of there in. And it's nothing really happens. It's the
Okay.
orb seems indifferent to you, if you would.
And what about when she can't hold back anymore and just reaches out and like rests a hand on either side of it?
Yeah, it's warm. But not in like a like a hot stone kind of way. Like it's not like that, or like a hot coffee mug, right? Like where you can kind of hold it and feel the heat radiating out from it. This is more of the like as you've reached over and kind of like touched it, it's in the same way like touching a person would be kind of warm to the sensation. And it even as you kind of stand there and you feel the sensation on your hand, it's almost like the orb's touching you back would be kind of the best way to describe it.
And am I able to like just lift it out of where it's floating?
You could try.
I would like to try.
Okay, give me a dexterity check.
Dex, okay. $15.
Yeah, as you go to like pull it away, there's a tug momentarily, like it's pulling back a little bit, but as you go, it doesn't slip through your fingers, and you're able to kind of pull it along with you. Now you have an orb of this kind of magical stone.
And as I'm like kind of bringing it closer to me, and it's like feels like it's pulling back a little bit, I kind of start talking to it like, it's okay, like I'm just visiting, and I think that you and I should get to know each other a little better, and maybe you can teach me about where you're from, and we can learn from each other. Like it'll be really good for both of us, I think. And she's gonna kind of tuck it away in a bag the best she can, kind of like pat at it like, all right, well, you'll be safe there, and we'll do some learning later.
It doesn't seem to react.
Okay. She probably keeps muttering to it here and there as she walks around the building like, I wonder what you know about this, and I wonder what you've seen in this place. It's got to be a lot. I bet you're as old as the building. I mean, I'm not calling you old or anything. I just mean you're of great stature and importance, is all. And just kind of that running like stream of consciousness under her breath as she pokes around and looks
I
at
love
everything.
her.
Old or anything. She's a big stature. I mean, I'm not calling you fat. I promise. I just mean you're very
So
just-
fit.
You're very orb.
Yes.
You're the most orb I've ever pondered. Yeah. There's no sign of intelligence to the orb itself. It seems indifferent to your mutterings would be the best way to put it.
Rotund.
That's fair. Lucy talks to inanimate objects all the time, so
Fair.
there's nothing new.
Sometimes it's the best conversation you get.
True.
We're gonna jump over to Nyx and future me real quick.
Yeah.
We are just.
We're on a hunt for anything magical.
Max is just along for the ride, just keeping this here, just in case, just in case
Yeah.
something happens.
Yeah, so you happen upon probably one of the more boring looking buildings you've seen. The best way I could describe it is like it's in the same way like a rook looks like a castle tower now to us, and like we're like, that's a castle tower, they totally looked like that, but they didn't. Like, we know that's not what they ended up looking like. Like that's what this is. Like, somebody has been like, oh yes, a castle tower is kind of the like the vibe. It's small ish. From the map you saw, there's a ton of these around, but they appear to be like almost like guard outposts.
Yeah.
That's probably the first thing that would catch your eye. And then there is a kind of like an archives section. It's like as you're kind of like reading the titles on buildings and stuff like that. Like one of these is an archive building. They appear to be like government records. Like there's a few of these dotted throughout. Like it's even got like a designation. So they were probably kind of analogous to like today how we've got registries. Would be kind of what that is. Like you're looking at a registry, in essence. Those would be the big ones that would catch your eye. The rest of them appear to be like, again, as if you kind of like walk around the exterior, the pattern repeats. So like there's a library and a school, and then one of these guard towers, and it kind of is like the way it lays out.
I believe if we start at an archive, we may be able to locate additional information about the peoples and any registered instruments that would have been arcane or used in day-to-day tasks.
It's just like listening and be like, okay. Question following up to that.
Yes.
How the hell do we do that?
We read. Are you incapable of this task?
It's just like, isn't it in a different language though?
Right. Pardon.
I cannot read Elven. Like he's just like, I ain't telling nobody I can't read. This is, I will die with this in my grave. I can read, just
Not Elven.
Not Elven.
well.
Understood.
I can't read Elven, so is there anything I can do to help you in this journey?
There may be some locked cabinets or perhaps safe rooms that would be worth unlocking and looking in.
All right, you do your whole reading thing. I'll look
Understood.
around. So I would like to look around and see if I can find anything that would help, or something that's not reading for Nyx.
Yeah, so the way archive buildings are laid out is there's a small reception area, kind of as you walk through the front door, and you can see where there's space for 4 people to sit kind of around this, and people would kind of like come up to the sides, they would ask for something, or they would submit paperwork, and then everything would be stored from there. You can see like there's a door that's been kind of like gently propped open. It looks like at some point, like it just through age, it has shifted slightly. You can see that going down, there is a section of offices, and then there's a spiral staircase that goes up and down.
More
from
stairs.
there.
Nyx just looks at the stairs and goes, ah!
It's a fairly flat building, so like there's a story down and a story up is effectively what you'd encounter.
I think Nyx doesn't care at this point. It's stairs. You know what? With what he has seen so far, going up higher means more important stuff. So Nyx is just gonna slither up the stairs to see if they can find anything at the top floor.
Yeah. So up here is an archive room. So this is a list of records. So what you're looking at are, it's kind of weird. So what there is a row of books, down like shelves as they go, and you can tell like from the way that things are laid out, the books themselves are meant to be like kind of opened, and then they're journaled and stuff is referenced in it. But at the end of every one of these bookshelves is, for lack of a better term, an obelisk of that same kind of like perfectly smooth metal that made up the systems. As you move further back, there's actually like a section that is locked off. So whatever's here is important, in kind of the front way that we're like in the backspace where you entered in. It's important, whatever it is, but what's actually important is behind that wall.
Could I open it?
Yeah, give me a lockpick.
Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand, thank you.
I have a +10 in sleight of hand, and I got 11. I am going to get rid of one of my psych dice to make that 11 into a 15.
Okay. So as you kind of like go at first, like you can feel the lock is unfamiliar. So whatever the key for this looks like, it's not what you're used to a key looking like. It's different. The way the mechanism goes, it kind of starts off with a like, I don't know if I can do this, but as you start to like work through it, you can begin to feel the way the internal mechanism goes. You know, the way there's a series of discs inside that you're able to like turn them and get them to actually like line up. So eventually you can engage the lock and pull that door free.
All right. As I'm pulling the door free, I'm gonna actually call out to future me. I'll be like, I think I found something.
Excellent.
Might
I will be
more,
over
but-
in a moment.
like, Yes.
Looking through the registry while they're unlocking the door, is there like a list of registered like artifacts or licenses? Like in our current modern world, you need a firearms license to own a firearm. Is there like a list of people with like firearms licenses, or like a list of like artifact licenses that would have been?
So what you find here is kind of like they're sectional reference books. So basically the material that's referenced in here is related to specifically this section. So what you'll find is a list of guards and their hierarchies. Basically, as people were moved into the space, they were able to be referenced, and their classification. So, you know, whether you were a guard or a detective or you were a knight of the city, you know, it's kind of the level. And you know there are people that were registered as knights of the city. They were the ones who would have had magical artifacts, so they typically they're listed the same way. It appears to be some kind of like staff that could be changed into other weapons, is the best way I can put it. Like the weapon would reconfigure itself as needed, and they were given to these people, and that's like, you can find a reference to them. You can find references to people that have made requests for like research purposes. Something that you've quickly realized is that like one of the elves thought very highly of themselves. They thought themselves intelligent and scholarly and regularly. They were the kinds of people that like, oh yes, everyone in our society is always doing research. So people would submit research grants. Most of them are useless. Some of the people would be like, I'm doing a research grant on what do clouds feel like? And it's like stuff like that, where like it's literally like fluff to look busy kind of thing.
Right.
So like, and there's every single one of them is recorded. Like there's a ledger, and it's like this is the kind of research that was happening in this area, because your ability to move from lesser areas to higher areas was, you know, how much research you could complete and what your research value added.
Right.
And that's like, you can actually track people that were like moved up or moved down. Like you can see people that are like, oh, your research is no longer considered valuable, you were being moved away from the inner ring kind of thing. So there's records of that, and some of it, like the people that moved up was into things. There's a reference to a word that you can't quite parse. Like you know, you can like sound it out, and you're like, oh, arcanium, I have no idea what that is.
What that means.
It's referenced in the same way like the system referred to the word charges to you. You're just supposed to know. So there are references to people using arcanium to change the properties of items, or to imbue magical effects to items, kind of thing. So it seems to be something that's transitive.
Perhaps arcanium was one of the original sources for the myth of the Philosopher's Stone. I mean, don't facepalm it. That is a very logical conclusion.
That was very logical, but at the same time, I was just like, oh,
You would
God.
go over Nick's head.
No, like, Nyx isn't even there. Nyx is up a floor. But all I was
Yeah.
thinking was alchemy and everything, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Anyway, I am coming upstairs. Tick, 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 tick.
Were you talking to yourself downstairs?
Yes.
So the room that you're in now, you know, where you were able to like reference like, hey, there's ledgers of stuff like that. As you kind of like walk by, having read through, like you start to understand the system. Like they're basically sort of like, these books are records of where everything is kept, who's doing what research, and you could kind of like pull a book off the shelf, flip through, and you would be able to like track a person kind of thing. So
Right.
some of these are like government permits. Some of these are literally people's entire like life story in terms of like, this is the research property, and it's like records of their actual research notes or key information, and like how they moved through the city. Much like in our current society, most people, when you're in a ring, you don't really move up a ring. You if anything, you move down a ring kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Or occasionally like incredibly brilliant people. And there's like, as you get kind of further along, there's those kinds of records where you can see like this person was specifically handpicked because they're incredibly intelligent. And they'd be moved up. The room that Nyx just picked you into is this is like actual government records. This is where you're getting into information like where people live. This is where, you know, key stores are, what classes are allowed to be taught at the schools in this section, what kind of information is allowed to be disseminated. This is, you're starting to paint a picture that like within the rings, you were only allowed to know so much. Like the people that live in the ring you're in right now are the highest class of citizens that would have lived in this area. So they kind of had access to a little bit of everything. They were, for the most part, fairly open and able to do what they wanted. This is also where you get a lot of like records of like core government employees, people who worked in that central tower or worked in the towers around it kind of thing. Important people are recorded in these spaces and move through. You get things like medical records, references to people's health, diseases popping up, that kind of stuff. But the probably what's going to be the most interesting to you is a list of they're not called magical items. They're items of interest is effectively what you can find. You can find a section where like it is like known items of interest, and this is a record of where they're going for research. So if people like, whereas like some of the stuff would be like, oh yeah, I did transitive properties with Arcanium, and this is a Warhammer that was created, and it has the ability to shift the gravitational purposes of the things. And like some of them are like, this item was transferred to another city, this item was transferred to like forts and stuff. So like they're moved around, they were moved into military infrastructure, that kind of stuff. Some of them are located still inside the city, spread throughout, either being researched or locked up. So some of them were items given to town's guards, specifically knights of the city, who were able to make use of those items. So there is a reference to a set of gauntlets that organically increased the strength of the wearer. There is a reference to a hammer that was kind of like potentially had the capacity to disrupt magic. There is reference to a hold on.
A hammer, you say?
Well, let him list the other things before you get
hold
to
on,
your
sorry.
things. I have notes to take.
There is a sword that appears to be that's made out of the same material that the pillars and everything that you've engaged with are, where like it appears solid, but it has the ability to kind of like change itself between a couple different sword types. And that is actually located close by. And then there is a reference to a set of glasses that allow the user to read a book and immediately understand everything, or immediately know what is contained within the book, but not understand it.
Oh.
Understood. I believe we have something of a heading.
Do we? What is it? What does the book say?
The book lists locations for current artifacts that are located nearby. We have gauntlets, a hammer, sword, and glasses. That should all be within the city's realm still.
All right. I'd be interested in the sword for personal reasons. No need to lie to you, future me. You know what I'm about.
I am aware.
Yeah. But we don't know what these items do we?
We have some vague concepts as listed in the book. The sword is able to change shape and style.
What do the other things do?
Gauntlets can boost a wearer's physical capacity, and the hammer has the capacity to disrupt magical weave.
And the glasses?
They allow you to understand an entire book from reading only a small amount of it. However, your personal gains from said book is reliant on your own knowledge pre-existing.
Like Nyx is like, read so fast. I need. Oh, okay, never mind. Well, if they're near here, our whole thing is to find these artifacts. Is there one that is the closest?
The closest one is the sword, correct?
Yeah, the sword
You said
is it should be contained within the guard's tower that's close by to you.
The sword should be contained within the guard's tower that's nearby. We can start there.
We might as well. All right. I guess we're going to go look for a sword.
Back to our friends at the school, really quick.
Ooh.
One thing before you guys take off.
Oh,
Nyx, please
Yes?
communicate to Lucy that we have found an archive that lists daily movings around the city and research that was being done.
oh God. They're gonna have an aneurysm. Hey, Lucy.
I do
Yeah.
not believe that is the correct term.
Lucy just like pops into the doorway from nowhere.
Well, we found an archive.
Telepathic.
Yeah. We found an archive. Apparently, it tells about all the goings on during the day. Is that
Correct.
correct?
They kept track of every individual's movements throughout the city and their research.
Has everybody's movements in the research kind of stalkerish, don't you think? Like, that's a little too much.
That's so much
To control a
detail
civilization,
about-
you must know what they do.
that's
That
so much
sounds like a
detail about
dictatorship.
society that was kind of lost. This is amazing. I wonder what they were researching. I can't wait to see this.
All right, well, I unlocked the door, so it is open. Future Me has read through it, but we found some magical artifacts that might be around the city, so we're gonna head out and try to collect those as fast as possible.
Wow. Well, I mean, if you need help, just let us know. Wait, how far away from us are you?
Not too far, I don't think.
How far are we?
Like a 10-15 minute walk.
10 and 15-minute walk away. It's one of the guard towers.
Lucy's going to go and look for the nearest of her two companions in the building. I'm not sure who's where, but whoever she runs into first, she's gonna be like, okay, so there's research logs and magical artifacts, and I'm going right now because I gotta see this.
I feel like Nyx would just be out the window, just like looking at it, just waving. So it's this one, this one.
Just looking out the window down the street, like.
All right.
So yeah,
I'll
I'm
have
not-
my
I'm not
familiar.
I'm not running away. I'm just, I gotta go. I gotta see this. And
I'll have
soon
my
as-
familiar circle the building so that you can
Okay.
see it easily.
Awesome. So yeah, as soon as she knows that, it's not gonna look like she's been swallowed up by the building or something, she's going to head for the two of you as fast as her legs will carry her. I'm picturing her like slamming the door open, like leaning in the doorway, like panting, like, where's the research? Where's the research?
Eyes wide.
Yeah, it's just like gonna be like right there,
Like, don't hear me.
right
The-
there.
Even
The
though
future
she
me will
doesn't
give you.
read Elvin is already established, she's still just like there and like
Yeah. Future me will like list to you their like organizational system. So it's like from here to here is like this thing, and that's how they do it. And then upstairs they have like government documents, and like more private information.
Good luck with that.
and Lucy doesn't make eye contact through this whole thing because she's scribbling everything down. Just everything.
It's like I remember like the military is coming after us, right?
Correct. We have a limited amount of time before they arrive. I suggest we round up those artifacts as quickly as possible.
I think that's a good
should
idea.
we split up then?
I intend to find these artifacts.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll head. You're faster than me, I think.
I can be.
So I'm just thinking maybe I go to the closest one, you go to the next one, and we meet up in the middle.
Understood.
All right. So me and Nyx are gonna. I don't have Nyx as my mind thing, so good luck.
Yeah, that's okay.
3.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I guess, what's the second closest one after the sword?
Gauntlets.
I will head for the gauntlets. Nyx will head for the sword.
Yeah, I'll have first because you are faster, I believe.
I have a speed of 30,
Okay, so maybe we have the same speed.
but I can do funky little druid things.
That's what I was
and-
thinking. I was like, you're like a druid, so if there's like a certain time crunch, you could just fucking book it.
Yeah, I'll use a first level spell to give myself long strider.
Nice.
To increase my speed by 10 feet per round.
While I'm speedy for a gnome, I think I will go with Nyx.
Oh, you're not gonna look at the archives. You're gonna just come with. Okay, perfect.
I mean, the thing with the archives is the military probably won't want to take them away, so they'll still be here for me to study later. But like, when military get their hands on magical artifacts, they don't like to let them go again. So if we want
True.
those, we should do that right now.
Wait, do we have a third one? Wait, how? We both have.
There's
30,
4
so-
total artifacts.
Well, Meta, we know the hammer's not here.
Meta, I think it might be a different hammer.
But touche.
There's a possibility.
There's a possibility it's a different hammer.
What's
So
the kind
let's
of
say,
glasses?
do you
For
want to
sure.
go to the other one, and then we all just 3 of us just split out continuously,
And then meet at the hammer.
and then meet at the last one?
I mean, we could definitely try that. Where
Because to
does
be
this
honest,
thing-
you with the glasses would be the best thing ever.
does it say where they are? Like, where does it say they are? Is it how far away is it? I'm pretty fast, but like I'm not.
There's a small, like, kind of similar to a library, like research center. Basically, people would gather there. They do all their work.
Yeah.
They're known to be stored there.
Okay. On the map that Lucy has drawn, she's just gonna mark an X where each of these items is,
Mhm.
and say, okay, so you're going here. Flips the page. You're going here. I'm going
Correct.
here, and then when we're done, we'll all meet up. Flip, 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 right here.
Correct.
Correct. Nyx, would you please inform Theodore and Alice?
On it. Theo, Alice, how you guys doing?
Somewhere
Nothing
in this
confuses me.
Theo, somewhere in the school, just still going through people's backpacks and things, seeing what you can find.
You definitely shouldn't have had that magazine.
had.
Oh.
He's found somebody's like their start of fan fiction, and it's like, is this a self-insert?
Why are the pages stuck together?
Theo just fuck. Nick's is just like, we found some magical artifacts. We're gonna try to collect them before the military comes and tries to collect them. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm heading to a sword. Future me is heading to gauntlets.
Correct.
And our archaeologist is heading to glasses. However, there should be a hammer which we're gonna meet at. If you got but maybe you guys don't know where it is. So we'll let you know when we get the items. I have no connection to future me, but I believe in them.
I will be okay.
Yeah.
Would you like us all to come with you all? Like, would you like me to go to future me so you at least have someone you can be?
That actually it just looks over like that type of like. Do you want someone to go with you, or do you just want to say fuck it and go yourself?
Additional hands may be helpful.
All right. Future me asked for additional hands.
I will go with future me then.
Okay. Alice, you have your choice. Would you like to Alice? Could you actually go to the hammer?
Sure. You tell me its location.
Future me.
Yes.
You're very good at location. I need an exact location. We are working with Alice. Exact location.
Exact location. Understood. And I will
I
give
don't
you
know
the
if I should be
exact
offended or not.
like.
Well, I don't want to say somewhere north because Alice would be like, okay, and just go all north.
I am a train.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
have to give exact.
I will give the exact coordinates as per described in the book.
All right, I'll give Alice the exact coordinates and say we are going to be meeting up at you once we collect the other items. If we collect the other items. How good is Theo with directions?
Blackwell?
Brain work. You said how good am I with directions?
Thanks for
Repeat the
following.
question.
Are you good with directions?
With an intelligence of 8, I can roll to see if I am, but I'm pretty
I
sure
can
I
also
don't.
go like this. Future me, what's a big landmark near where you're going?
I will not need to share a landmark. My familiar is on the way.
Oh, they're sending their familiar. All right.
And the stone owl will come and fly to you and lead you in the right direction.
All right, we're gonna do our favorite thing for a DM, and we're gonna all split the
Go
party.
different directions.
Before we fully split the party, and I have to jump. Alice, what did you do in the school while you were there? We didn't get really a chance to let you do much, so we're gonna do that first.
My body decided it wanted to do something else first.
Fair.
I don't think Alice fully understands what school is.
Okay.
But I think she would have kind of been shadowing Lucy before she ran off.
Okay.
So even though she might not understand what the room she went in is, from how Lucy was acting, she would know that it's kind of important. So
give me
I think
give me a
look
straight.
at like the papers and scrolls like around where the little mini orb Arpicla was.
Give me a straight D20.
D20. Okay. Oop, I did not mean to collapse that. 20. Ooh, that's a 5.
That's
Okay.
better than my not one.
True.
And now we found it. I just needed a. Okay.
Oh, does it correspond to something on a list?
Sort of. So,
When you said that, I don't love that.
No.
it's so you cast comprehend languages.
I did. Yes.
Before you go. As you're kind of like walking through and like right before Lucy went off, you know, kind of the meandering through the hallways that Lucy was doing, ahead of being told that, hey, there's something really cool you have to come see. One of the classrooms you guys wandered past had writing on the chalkboard, and as you kind of like looked into it, to Lucy it all would have been basically useless gibberish because it was written in Elven. However, you have comprehend languages currently cast. What you see is the words Arcanium. It is a magical stone that is created during reality-altering events.
Oh, okay.
It allows the weave to interact, and there's kind of a weird way that you understand this as a bard. You understand when you cast magic, the way you interact with the world and kind of engage and change things, you can feel the kind of pull on the world. What ends up happening is very temporarily when you go to cast a spell, you influence the weave, the very essence of magic, and as you perform your act, you act in harmony with the vibrations of the weave, and that allows you to momentarily direct the weave to do something. You know, you're not really controlling it. Nobody can really control the weave, but but
You
it's
can like partner with it. for a
yeah,
moment.
you can ask it nicely to do something, and if you do everything right and you were in the right harmonies, it will do as you wish.
Okay.
Arcanium is a microphone pushed against the speaker to your effect. It is a feedback loop of raw magic, and it vibrates in the weave, and you can grab it and you can grab hold of it, and you can ask it to do something, and it can do just about anything with enough of it and enough stored magical energy. You can do anything with
Is there a price?
It's a feedback loop into magic. It is not supposed to exist. So if you don't know exactly what you're doing and your will is not strong enough, magic pushes back. The weave pushes back. And the spell can backfire. Basically the notes that are here are an indication that through Arcanium, the elves were able to establish this empire and power. And you're starting to understand that this magical stone that you're finding everywhere is probably Arcanium. It's a refined form of Arcanium. But it is only created when a truly world-class event is. And they don't really explain what that means on the board, but all they know is that elves would intentionally cause events to occur to generate as much Arcanium as they could. Now, you know, just kind of from what they're describing, a small scale event would form enough to maybe be a marble in your hand.
We saw
you
giant
saw
ones.
massive. So to make these cities operate, elves have been manufacturing world scale, continent altering events over time to generate these stones. Is effectively what they've been doing. So that's kind of a rough understanding of
Okay.
what you've encountered, and it's written there. Now, how much of that Alice actually understands as a concept? There's got to be some of it where yes, okay, Arcanium allows you to force the weave to do something. So theoretically, where's the thing the Arcanium that you saw before, you can now start to piece together future me wasn't casting the spell to make the city. The Arcanium was casting the spell. All of those glyphs and all of those carvings and everything are designed to let it only do certain things. So it can't deviate and waver from its path.
Yeah, as a certain.
It acts kind of like a spell scroll almost.
Okay. Yeah.
But it uses arcane energy up as it does things. So as it's casting shield basically over and over and over and over and over again, or whatever the spell is that makes up this dome, that's why it's using energy, as it's slowly consuming the energy in its reserves in the size of that crystal to recast that spell over and over again. And you can watch it happen now that you kind of you're starting to piece it together. You can actually watch every once in a while. There's a pulse that runs along the entirety of the shield that just kind of cascades down, and it's just recasting that spell over and over and over again, slowly over time.
Interesting.
Hydrate.
Good thing I accidentally brought my water bottle home from work.
Now out of water, so no more hydrates, please. I'll have to switch to scotch.
Suzanne, don't do it.
Um,
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you've discovered. Is that's what this is.
Okay, I've learned the basics of.
Yeah. You kind of have a rough idea of how it's functioning as a spell component. Because that's what it's doing, is it is acting as spell component and everything to do it. But it is basically just sucker punching the weave to try and tell it what to do.
Yeah. And if it goes wrong, then bad things are gonna happen.
It can have catastrophic effects, yeah. Hence why, like, all of this stuff is designed so it's not like you grab the crystal and go, please cast a 10th level spell. Because it theoretically, like, if you knew of one and you grabbed it and you were like, do that thing, it could theoretically do it.
Do the thing.
Yeah. Do you have the willpower to contain that kind of magic? Because you are the conduit now directing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like it. Very, very interesting. All right, Alice is gonna put that away for later and to probably tell the group. She doesn't know what they found, so like in the archives, really. So
Okay.
should probably bring it up if someone mentions it.
Well, you said that you said it telepathically.
Hmm?
Did you say you were saying it telepathically, or you weren't saying
No.
it? Sorry. Okay,
No.
sorry, I got confused. I was like, Nix is not gonna know what to do with that information. Don't touch it.
No, Alice is storing it for the moment, and we'll bring it up later. There's more important things right now.
As you all head for your magical artifacts of choice, we're gonna call it quits for the night. We're gonna give ourselves an opportunity to break, just so we don't get really into it. We've got 10 minutes here left in our normal stream time. Last thing I want to do is get us all excited and hyped up, only to then run out of time, or worse, play until 11 o'clock at night and have us all tired and exhausted tomorrow morning.
Oh no.
I work at 3. Don't do this.
Exactly. That's why we're stopping.
I love you guys so much.
My perception of time slipped. Oops.
To be honest, same. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I can go for another hour, and then I'm just looking like it is 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Viewers, what lovely new followers and new viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in and coming and joining us tonight. For a little bit of exposition and expose, as well as some drama from creating a flying city. Again, we're Legends of Logomancy, nope, that's not it.
Logomancy
Nope.
Media.
Logomancy Media.
Media.
I did it for
We
2
will
years.
Find a way to get that beaten into David. But
Start taking a drink every time I get it
the
wrong.
Logomancy Media bat and I'll come pay a visit.
Yeah.
We'll just get it tattooed on your arm.
We
So-
are Logoman. Yeah, we're
What's
Logomancy
a
Media.
mediator?
We are a content collective here, mostly located in Canada, but of course Blackwell is joining us from the good old US of A. We are entirely run off of people like you lovely folks, and our newest follower coming in, hanging out with us, having a wonderful time, and enjoying everything we do. If you'd love to keep up to date with us, we're on basically every social media platform. Yes, even that one. I don't actually know what that means anymore. That joke's gotten so run out. We're on Blue Sky, we're on Twitter, we're on Threads, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on TikTok. We're hopefully going to be doing more with our TikTok soon. I say that as the person who's supposed to be doing more with our TikTok. We have a Discord. If you'd love to come hang out with us, we would love to have you come and hang out with us. We have a wonderful time. We chat, we make memes, and all around have a great time. One of these days we'll restart the roundtable conversations too, so we can have fun, awesome debates about cool things that we do. We have a new show coming up, several new shows coming up in the near future, one of which will be run through our Discord initially. So if you want to be part of a shadowy cabal of individuals voting on the future of 3 other individuals, come tune in for that. If you want to know what that means, you gotta check out the Discord. We of course have a website where we try to update what's going on, all of our showtimes, all of that fun stuff. You can also buy merch. You can't buy this shirt anymore because this is a Generation 1 shirt. We don't do this this anymore. But we do have other cool shirts with our logo on it and a bunch of other cool logos. I know Pixie has some really amazing stuff from us. The Pride logo that we're really super happy with. All the proceeds from that go to the Alex here in Calgary. From any of our Pride stuff, we keep track of all of that. So if you do pick up any of that, same with our trans flag stuff, it all goes to the Trans Empowerment Project, which is an amazing group that we've had an opportunity to work with.
Look at that.
And then our regular logo stuff goes to us to fund all of this cool stuff. So we have opportunities to support other content creators in the dreams that they have, because we're a content collective. We are not individuals hoping to get famous. We are a group of people hoping to collectively raise one another, raising tides, boats, all that jazz. From the bottom of my heart, I would love to say thank you for tuning in tonight and for hanging out with us and having a wonderful time playing some D&D with us. To my amazing players, as always, thank you so much. I cannot wait to see you in 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
The
2
new
weeks?
year.
Next week?
In the new year.
Next week.
In the new year. We're going to be off for the next 2 weeks at the very least, as we have things around the holiday season going on. Namely, one of the big holidays.
It is New Year's Day. It would be the first.
We could do a hungover like New Year's Day.
Let's
No,
do New
nothing.
Year's Day.
I'm working. It's a Wednesday.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. But until then, until the new year, I expect some smaller pocket streams. We are ambassadors with the Make-A-Wish ambassadorship program, so we have an amazing opportunity to raise money for children going through the worst time of their lives and their families. We're probably gonna do some cozy streams because this is cozy month for Make-A-Wish, so expect to see return of the, what do we call it? The Logomancy Commune, I think was the name originally.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
yeah.
Stardew Valley. There's probably going to be some fireside chats. Maybe we'll do a holiday edition roll for beer if I can convince Allison and James to do
I
that.
am up for it, but James is the one that just came from PAX, so we gotta convince them.
We'll-
But I would love to do a holiday roll for beer. I could, and I would, just make different eggnogs with different alcohol and
I
send
was
them
gonna
to
say,
everybody.
eggnog.
So gonna say, if you guys are gonna do a holiday roll for beer, I will see if I can get you a 4-pack of our Christmas pudding porter,
You know what?
which
Yes.
is
I will
fucking delicious.
I really want to try that actually. And I'll be honest, I have been on chats for the past 3 weeks, and I have already lined up 6 new people for roll for beer for
Nice.
guests. So I'd love to do a holiday episode of our people.
Yeah.
And so, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna text James.
Yeah.
We're doing a holiday episode. You're gonna just have to deal with it. Sit down.
We're doing, I mean, the editor's on board, so.
Yeah, wait, I have the editor. So it could just be like, you know what, Ed? You know what? David, you decided this. You're our guest.
Done. Deal.
Done.
I'll go buy eggnog, and there's a local distillery I've been meaning to buy whiskey from, so we'll do eggnog and whiskey.
Whiskey, tequila. I'm gonna mix a
have
bunch
tequila,
of things.
Scotch.
We're gonna mix a bunch of things, and
bourbon.
we're.
Spotch.
I
To be honest,
have.
I don't know if James is in the chat, but I got him something really cool for Christmas, and I'd love to whip it out.
I'm gonna spoil something
Do it. I don't think he's
for
here.
you because I have a gift for Roll for Beer. Actually, a friend of or coworker of mine previously owned a restaurant and no longer does, but has all their beer taps. So we're going through the collection and we're gonna see which ones they're willing to give up, and I will give you beer taps for your background. Some of which are personal, like one of which I'm keeping because
Yeah, of
it's
course.
an important one to me. But the rest of them are, my plan is to help you guys build out your background.
Because we
But
are planning on making a studio
An
where
in-person
we
studio.
will be sitting down in the same
Oh, yeah.
room now. So I will not
Nice.
be here. We will be in a studio together doing Roll for Beer. But I got James one of those. It's a shot game where you have to get something on a hook. You probably seen it on Facebook where you get something on a hook, you hook it, and it's gonna be his moonshine when we do it. So the loser
Oh.
has to take it.
Oh
So
my
I will
God.
set that
Oh.
up, and I will be getting people to come in to do it for Roll for Beer.
So
I hope you're excited to take a drink often.
I think I'd be okay. I don't know. It's me.
I'm
you
so
know?
sad that I live not in the same city as you.
You know what, Pixie? There's an Edmonton. We will drive to Edmonton just for you to have it.
You know what? If I drank, I would actually go for it.
Understandable.
That's fair.
We'll boil it so all the alcohol's gone, and you can just drink the essence of.
Yeah.
It'll just that all the alcohol's gone. It's just like a little bit of cayenne powder and
Yeah.
water in the bottle.
and
Can-
liquid,
Liquid.
not Newtonian fluid. But with that, I'm gonna let all of my players go to bed. Oh, yeah,
Shameless self promo before we sign off.
yeah.
Yeah. So this Friday over on the Pocket Dragon Pub's Twitch channel, I will be joining
Ooh.
some amazing players, and we are doing a Ghostbusters theme Christmas one shot.
Nice.
That'll be great.
Nice.
Yes. At
Give the pocket
8
our love. Love the
Eastern.
pocket.
Awesome.
And with
So-
all of that said, we
That's
are
right.
going to find one of our friends who is alive. We're going to send some
Exactly.
love out to them.
Of course.
So that
Yeah. New Age Geeks.
hold on, I'm waiting.
Um,
Yeah. Ooh, they might
might.
be getting ready
It
to
might
go
be ending
offline.
soon.
Yeah.
Ampersands is live, but that's just a person. Dungeon Scrawlers?
Yeah, let's do Dungeon Scrawlers. We're gonna send the love over to Dungeon Scrawlers. They got a game going on right now. Looks like they're playing some Dungeons and Dragons. So you're gonna go hang out with them while they play more Dungeons and Dragons and give them our love from the bottoms of our heart. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you all
Love you all.
in the new year.
Farewell.
3 weeks.
Toes are just
maybe.
the fingers of the feet.
Why? No, I don't like that.
It's taken its time. We're waiting.
That
I've gone for the
bothers
bow.
me.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're good to go. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.